Guys, anything else we should test out before we start the show today? You think we're good?
We're worse than Aaron.
I don't know. I've already tested my patience.
Shouldn't we steal like a Opie and Anthony song to play for the next 3.5 minutes, or should we just get into the
any good wrestling songs you know of?
Ecstasy of Mold.
That would be good.
There's a show in town, it's going down. Every week we're back on solid ground. Steel toe slipping, but we're gripping. Got the tea to spill, it's always flipping. From April's scrim to Aaron's glee. Oh, this drama's just a spree. Polydrama, legal trauma. Another win, oh, that's the karma. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars. And this little piggy's breaking down loud. Every week when we cabbage flow, tune in for this little piggy show. From revenge porn to felony, it's a circus, can't you see? The toe is bent, the goal is spent. His empire crumbles, all hell sent. April's playlist on repeat. Aaron's lies we can't defeat. The countdown's on, it won't take long to see this piggy squeal his song. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars. And this little piggy's breaking down, wow. Every week moving cabbage flow. Tune in for this little piggy show. Oh, this little piggy ain't missing a thing. Just sit back, laugh, and watch the king.
Welcome to This Little Piggy, a weekly roundtable discussion about the Steel Toe Morning Show. And of course, Aaron Imholt, the cum eater himself. I'm Carl from Who Are These Podcasts. And this week, my guests are from Nobody Likes Onions. Patrick Melton is here. What's up, Patrick?
Hi.
Also, from the Blind Mike Project, Why Are You Laughing? Who Are These Socials? The beggy monster himself. Blind Mike is here. What's up, Mike?
Am I replacing Tukey on this show? Because I feel like I've been on a lot, and he's never here.
I hope so, because I'm ready to fire that asshole.
I didn't agree to this.
A cum monster to a beggy monster.
Also, with us today from This Little Piggy, it's Moody. What's up, Moody?
Hi, I'm irrelevant.
Well, I'm happy to see you, Moody. Thank you for being here. Guys,
It's nice to have a fan club.
we have a very important episode today, I have to tell you, because today is Envelope Day. Today, normally we get on here, we have things to discuss, we have a show to put on. Not today. Today, it's all about the money. We have to make we're not begging, but we have to make the money or else we go away.
There's no goal. There's no goal.
Just tell us.
Just throw money at us.
You just throw money at us. The show today was wild. We have a lot to get into about the show that was supposed to be 6 hours, but didn't make it that far, unfortunately. But today was the 4th anniversary of Steel. Wait, well, not really the 4th anniversary of Steel Toe.
It takes a lot to pull off a 4th anniversary after a big 10th anniversary.
Yeah,
I was
confusing.
so confused.
He literally, during the show today, I wrote this down when I was listening to it. He basically said, guys, I'm just making up for the short week this week. We just need to make as much money as possible. It's really not about the 4th anniversary at all. It's like, yeah, no shit. I knew that. I knew that this is an arbitrary 4th anniversary.
Hot schlub time machine. He's gone from the 10th anniversary to the 4th anniversary in only 3 months. It's amazing.
Did he, like, when
Very
you get
impressive.
married, do you still celebrate the anniversary of your first date? Like, do you have to celebrate every anniversary?
No.
Oh,
You
yeah,
gotta
maybe-
let that shit go.
You know what I mean?
Maybe it was like April and him had their 2nd anniversary, but he was like, but it's also the 4th anniversary of me leaving Ashley.
Right, exactly.
Which was what made us able to start our relationship. Like it's one after the other.
Well, he told a lot of stories about their relationship and how it started off and how April was living with her boyfriend for the first 2 months and pretending she wasn't with her boyfriend, and a lot of interesting information that I wrote down. But first, I want to tell everybody that we do have supertip.gg/WATP if you want to participate in the show. I know everybody loved the AI Aaron last week. You too could be AI Aaron by participating at supertip.gg/WATP. And that money does not go towards the goal, but we do need it because it is a short week and we have to make that money. This show is all about
your
the money.
envelopes.
If you think AI Aaron sucked, now's your chance to prove that humans are better. Let's hear your bits.
Correct. Also, I hate to tell you guys this, but if we don't make money, the beggy monster will come out. And we don't want the beggy monster to come out.
No.
That's a huge problem.
everyone.
Whoa, shit. Oh, no, it's here.
I went out this morning. I poured salt around my whole house. I put a whole ring.
No,
Does that work?
you
All right,
foiled me.
Let's talk about let's back up and talk about the beggy monster, because Aaron is, he doesn't listen to the haters and he doesn't care about them. He's killing the haters, but yet he listens to everything they say and addresses it and changes his ways all the time. And one of them was recently where he goes, guys, I know everyone hates the beggy monster. Nobody wants the beggy monster to come out. So just give me money now, and then I won't have to beg for some money. And Mike, you and Craig, I think, had some interesting ideas of what the beggy monster was all about.
Well, we only spent an hour and 40 minutes on it, so it was brief, but
It's very good. By the way, just round of applause.
Yes.
It's fantastic. Really good segment.
Go watch the Blind Mike Project if you haven't seen it.
I think you should work on some plush dolls that talk. Yeah. I think that would be great. People would buy a beggy monster.
And the thing about the beggy monster, you never stop paying for it. It's just installments for the rest of your life.
Subscription.
It was great to see the lore of the beggy monster develop over that bit. Like, he started off as a scary guy, then he got helpful, and then just threatening towards.
And then it became retarded. I like when the beggy monster was just a retard.
At first,
there was some math he didn't understand, I think.
At first, the beggy monster was Aaron, and then it became clear that Aaron was actually scared of whoever this guy is. It was like he was going to come around to collect, like the mob. Like, dude, the beggy monster shows up. He's like, "Where's my cut? Yeah, I need it."
But what was crazy about that, I mean, Mike, you did a fantastic job bringing that to life. But you were playing the clips. He brought up the beggy monster throughout the show nonstop.
If he said it once, I would have just been like, "Oh, that's just a thing." I would have ignored it completely. It would have gone right past me. The only reason I played it is because he kept acknowledging that the beggy monster lurks around the corner. Like, I thought it was just a thing. Like, he was almost making fun of himself the first time I heard him say it, where he's like, "Oh, the beggy monster, you know that when I'm an asshole, kind of." But then he kept like intimidating the audience into thinking like, "Oh no, the evildoer is going to appear."
I did some research, and I tried to find the first instance of him ever mentioning the beggy monster, and it was one time back in September. He said it once. He said, "Keep the beggy monster at bay." Never mentioned it again up until this last couple of weeks.
Well, I don't think he'll mention it again from what I hear.
Probably not. Right. So is his producer telling him the beggy monster is working, it's not working? We speculated that Slam Piece is maybe giving him some advice on how to do his show.
Yeah, do you think this is like an inside joke? Like they cuddle and she's like, "How's my little beggy monster?"
Yes. Slam Piece and the beggy monster.
Ooh, beggy monster's hungry, isn't he? Let's go upstairs and get you some potatoes.
Every show is haunted by its own monster. Aaron's got the beggy monster. We've got the seethe monster. He comes out all the time, makes us all seethe, right? There was the swallow monster probably hanging around Aaron a little bit earlier this year. I mean, monsters are everywhere.
Well, I asked that during that segment because we were having a great time with it, and then I kind of stopped myself and I was like, "Is this the seething that Aaron's talking about?" Because like I'm having a good time. Am I one of the seethers? Am I angry right now? I don't realize it.
I heard Kino Casino accuse me of this last night. They're like, Melton used to laugh when he did his show, but he doesn't laugh anymore. He's just angry, and I'm just like, I don't know how to help people who can't, like, I laugh for 4 hours every day. My cheeks hurt after my show.
Also, can I just point out that Worsey's laughing enough for all of us combined. Right. There's enough laughter on Kino Casino. They don't need us to laugh as well.
Clafter.
Very good stuff, guys. All right, so.
But I just wanted to say one more thing about that segment is that, like, so I guess according to Patrick, I need to confirm this. If anyone has proof, please let me know.
Soft Weekly verified this, that they were all all beggy monster in his chat, and he started begging people left and right who would just mention beggy monster.
So he would ban people, and like I don't go as hard as particularly I definitely don't go as hard as Aaron as Patrick does. This response seems so easy to me, where either he goes like, "Oh, that's pretty funny. I guess I sound like a douchebag," or he's like, "That guy's taking me awfully literally. I don't think there's a monster behind me. I was being goofy." Like those are the two replies instead of banning people from his chat. That's crazy.
Well, right. He acts like he owns his trolls, and he handles his trolls the worst way possible by showing you everything gets to him all the time.
I was gonna say it's interesting that you say like I go harder on him. I was thinking about it like since April left, I would argue I've gone easier on him. I would argue, especially in the past month or 2 or 3, like we really just kind of stand back and observe. I don't cover him to the meticulous logging degree that I did before. I almost feel, I was thinking about this. I almost feel like I did that for a year and no one was paying attention to Aaron. And people were like, why are you paying attention to Aaron? And then all this broke out and happened. And I feel like my job's done because a large section of the people that I talk to have now realized who this guy is, what he is, and seen him for all his foibles.
Well,
I
your
like
job's
that.
not done, but you're getting a lot of help now. I agree with you on that.
Right. So I just feel like, yeah, I've taken people who think I'm like super hard on the guy. It's like, I've kind of taken my foot off the gas, but he talks about me every day and like how I'm breaking down and it's over for me. But this has been for 6 months now. It's been over for me. I'm a small show and our listeners are leaving. Today, he actually said the words, all of his fans come over and give me money now and he can't handle it. And I was just like, I don't even know how to handle that.
Yeah, he literally said that you're melting down. You're melting down and you're losing everything. He goes, he had 1 year. It was a good run for him, but it's all over now. And I like when people say it's over, like Chad Zumock does that a lot too. It's over. It's over. It's like you said that last year, you said that the year before. You're never right about these predictions.
Also, if you tell me that, like, he had 1 year of his podcast where it was really banging, I'm like, 2009? Because that's what that's what I think of. Like, oh, we're dead? We're done?
Well, I thought Moody wanted to say something. I was going to give him some space here.
It's I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the show today. Was all about, he goes, guys, normally I put on a show to entertain you guys, but today it's all about you guys giving me money. And he called them envelopes, meaning he needs big piles of money at a time.
Yeah, that was the big difference. Usually they're donations. These are envelopes.
I think he took that from Kevin Brennan, you know, the kick up the envelopes to the boss that Kevin Brennan used to do, like a little light on the envelope, like that kind of.
At one point, he even threatened to cancel his guests. So he said, guys, today's an amazing star-studded day. We have Whiskey Pete. Johnny Crutches was going to be on the show, Oz, and then surprise guests, which we'll get to that as well. Oh. And he literally said, but, you know, if you guys don't want to give me money, I'll just let them know that they're not doing the show. There's no fucking way he was not going to do the show. He was trying to pretend that, like, if we didn't give him money, he was going to leave and it was going to be all of our fault for missing that part of the show.
So I woke up late. I haven't watched the whole show, but I did watch about the first 30 minutes. I told you to load up the first 5 because it was some incredible stuff he said. But one of the things I found interesting, because I did peep the running time of the show is 4.5 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
And what I found interesting was all week long he did 5 hours because it was the big anniversary week. Remember Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? He did 5-hour shows because he said it's the big anniversary week. But on the actual day, on the anniversary day, he goes 4.5.
Well, I'll tell you why.
He was willing to go to 6.
I know. He said
we usually do 5, guys, but you know what? Today's special. We'll do 6.
As long as he got $100 every hour, he was going to go to 6. So obviously that didn't happen. But he confused his audience today because it's normally Rumble Friday, and Rumble Friday is where they pay him money to watch videos. And
only on Rumble.
Only on
no
Rumble.
Copyright laws on Rumble.
Right. So he got a video. He got a link from someone with money attached to it. And this is his words. He goes, is that a copywritten video? Fucking idiot still doesn't know that copyright is not copywritten. But he goes, okay, I'll tell you what. I will go over to Rumble exclusive and we'll watch this video. If I can get 115 more times, someone will give me $115 right now. I will then go to Rumble exclusive. Guess what happened? No one gave him money and he stayed on YouTube. And we didn't watch that video.
Well,
but
you know,
it's that easy, like manipulate. This was his big show. He's been planning like his 10th anniversary.
Right.
Been planning this show. He's got it all figured out. This is how we're gonna do. He's been telling us all week. And then as soon as he gets there, someone's like, here's $100 to like totally change course. Like, all right, no problem.
Sure.
Done and done.
What do you guys want to do? What will you pay for? Yeah, we'd love to know.
Well, also,
I've never seen another show like that.
He didn't prep anything because someone in the chat at some point goes like, Aaron, this is your big like anniversary show. Do you have any like clips from the past you want to talk about? Like, You're just waiting for us to he goes, well, mention a moment. I could pull it up. It takes me 2 seconds. And I don't know what Aaron's technology or setup is like over there, but like if I just chimed in and said, hey, Aaron, remember this segment from April of 2023? You're telling me you could find that immediately? There's no way. It doesn't make sense.
If you just to answer the question about his setup, if you took a photo of Aaron M. Holt's studio and setup and sent it to Buzz Aldrin, he would say, you know, we went to the moon on more technology than this.
He also started that show. He started that show without streaming on Rumble. It was a Rumble Friday, which is what he's used to doing. He forgot to go live on Rumble. It was just on YouTube.
yeah. That was in the first 5 minutes. And then and by the way, while he figured the Rumble thing out, I'll never forget this because I was eating eggs and I had to spit them out. While he was getting his Rumble set up, he took his finger and just bit it. While he fumbled around on his computer. I've never seen him do that. Just a full-on biting of the finger.
That seems like it's stress related, right? I'm not a psychologist.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I told you this from the beginning. The self-soothing of this guy, the rocking, and like, if that's what the haters want to think. I mean, it's like, what are you rubbing yourself for? Why are you massaging your hands all day long on your show?
Now, we all think we're important because we're the hosts of the show, but we're not. You know what's important is T.O. Hank with $2. Mike, try to get a word in this time, would you?
I've said much more than when Gino was on.
That's true.
He was a great podcast guest, by the way. I hope we get to him later.
Well, wasn't Gino and Kiki back on Steel Toe today? Did I see that screenshot?
They rejoined the show today. They were the big special guests. And
no one could have guessed it from Aaron's teases.
Well, what's funny about it, I didn't watch the whole interview with Gino and Kiki, but apparently Gino agreed to it because he was wasted the night before on Thanksgiving night. He's been drinking whiskey, just like, yeah, man, I just thought it'd be a good idea. Now they're hungover. They're like, yeah, I don't know. We don't know what we're doing here.
Aaron kept saying it's gonna like break the internet. Like you guys are gonna have a lot to say when you see my guests, and he kept saying guests plural. So I was like, oh, it's Gino and Keanu. And then sure enough, it was Gino and Keanu. And they were like, hey, we don't have a lot of time. We still have people over for Thanksgiving. And he's like, oh, you guys. And then he does a bit where he pulls a knife from behind his back. And he goes, I believe this is yours. And they were like, you got us. Anyways, we'll see you later. And that was it.
Good stuff.
And again, the whole reference is, remember when you stabbed me in the back when you found out I was physically abusive to my ex-wife?
Right. You might not want to bring that up, Aaron. They might remember why they didn't like you.
Remember when I lied and misrepresented conversations we had on the phone to make me look better and put you down? You really stabbed me in the back. It's like, this guy's so delusional.
Having the back is so weird. Like, why is Kiki back on the show? Did Aaron unsmother April at some point over this last few months? Because that's why she's like, I don't want him around anymore because he
honestly, Moody
used April.
I'm friends with Keanu, but the only answer could be is that they now think April deserves it. Now they're just like, we don't like April anymore, so beat the shit out of her all you want.
I have another theory is that, I don't know, whatever their business is, super chats or whatever it was, like Keanu thought that maybe shitting on Aaron would be the key to more views or more revenue or whatever, and that dried up, so they're like, oh, we should be friends with Aaron instead, I guess.
I have another theory. They never gave a fuck at all, and they're just trying to fucking do. They don't know what to do, so they're just trying stuff. Carl used to give me shit about going too far with Aaron and stuff, and I would sit there and like, I don't know, maybe you could tell, I don't know, but maybe you watched it wash over a human and me think about it, and then kind of agree with you that I overstep. There's definitely bits I've done in the past 2 years that I wish I hadn't have done that I think might have gone too far and stuff. Putting John's trans kid up. Look, should that person ever find out about it? No, but why am I? I get it. It's on the.
That's not even what I was complaining about with you. But go ahead.
No, I know it was the contest stuff, but I'm just saying, like, a human being who has like an actual moral compass can reevaluate themselves and think about what they've done and try not to repeat mistakes or admit that something they did might have been wrong or over the line. Like, I really like. I tweeted this out yesterday. Like, none of this is real. Have a good Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. People are just like, you attacked Ashley LaRue. I was like, is she okay? Like, I don't know. People are delusional.
You're right.
And I just like, when Aaron never learns, and I think that these people like Keanu and Gino never learn. Like they don't actually care about April getting beat. They don't actually care about wherever the wind blows, they'll go. And it really like there's something viscerally disgusting about people like that to me who like pretend to care about something like abuse of a woman and then just immediately fold on it and go back and like, we'll go hang out with Aaron to get like
the evidence of that is that Keanu and April rekindled the relationship, and Keanu immediately went to the internet and said everything that April told her, which is the one thing that April didn't want. And she knew that.
Well, she did two things that April didn't want. One was tell the internet everything that she told him. And two, go to the person that physically abused April to the point of you not wanting to talk to that person anymore and tell him everything and say you were right about everything.
And she pretended to have this empathy at one point. She was like, I realize now that by me appearing on screen with Aaron while he trashed April made April think I was aligned with him and against her. And it's like, so now how
it doesn't anymore.
Like, I don't, are they not friends anymore? Or did April cut Keanu off because she went and blabbed all of it?
Sure.
Like, so
I bet every text after that was April ignored completely. Like, why even talk to this person?
So she needs to be aligned with one of them. So she just ran back to Aaron. Like, hey, April cut me off. Can I come back over and sleep at your house?
I guess.
The other thing was the money. They were like, he never paid us. There's all this money he didn't even pay.
Right.
Did he pay that? What changed? What's
they need?
We're not talking about real money. These people, maybe it's not the greatest neighborhood in New York, but they live in Manhattan. So the amount of money that Aaron was going to pay them wasn't going to make or break anything they have in their lives.
And will Aaron still think Will Heron is one of the best clippers out there? Because all he does is make fun of Kiki, but now Kiki's a co-host again. And by the way, that's where this leads. If nobody can see it coming, this will be Kiki will start coming back on a co-host. I don't think Gino will, but I can see a world where Kiki starts coming back every week and doing a show with Aaron.
For whatever it's worth, it seemed like Keanu was less pleased to be there than Gino. Yeah. She made a couple comments that were kind of digs at her. That doesn't make it it actually makes it worse in a weird way that she was on. She's doing it begrudgingly. But
I think they like that back and forth with each other, like being really kind of petty. And then Aaron kind of likes like anybody who insults him like that to get him on side. Like that's his whole plan with everybody is like get my enemies on side and pretend like it's a thing we got going on. He does with Alex Stein. Like Alex Stein was on Fish Tank, like promoting Steel Toe. He loves Steel Toe. It's like
I have a lot to say about that.
It's so insane. It's like, that's what's going on.
I got to get Alex Stein on this little piggy. He definitely needs to be on this show. But yeah, we have to talk about that. But first, Scott Richard Statska, $2 says, I want to see a Beggy Monster art competition. That's not a bad idea. What does the Beggy Monster look like? Yeah. Oh no, I know what it looks like. Here it is, the Beggy Monster, $5. Says PayPal, Venmo, Rumble Rants, Cash App, Zelle, Cuck App, Seaman App. Say. Oh wait, you can do the hiss for us, Mike.
Did I do a hiss? I don't remember.
He looks like
voice.
He looks like Gollum.
No, that's Golem.
Golem is this Beggy Monster.
We're gonna have those kids get on that painting. We need to see the Beggy Monster.
Yes.
Yeah. People in my comments speculated the Beggy Monster and Golem would be running through Gotham City together.
Shit Show $2 says, I wish Moody was the other kind of dumb. Crocat with a $4 super sticker.
Oh, I get it.
Carissa with a $5 super sticker. Thank you for supporting the show. We obviously need that money. Let's see what's going on over at the super tip system.
Why hasn't anybody said that I look like Rainn Wilson's gay love child?
That's AI Aaron for you right there.
Rainn Wilson's gay love child.
I can see it.
Interesting.
All right.
Anonymous with $5 says, you may have supertip.gg/WATP, but do you have super chat display? Aaron has super chat display. Say it, Patrick.
Super chat display. We have super chat display. I can't believe I can't believe he's still doing it. I thought it would be gone in a week. But what we've seen is he just doesn't put up stuff he doesn't like.
Right.
So he just
And he
sorry
also
guys, I
leaves
can't.
it so that it's cropped by the edge of the screen.
Yeah, why can't he figure that out?
He can't.
There's a whole word missing every time.
More than that, sometimes it goes way off.
So weird.
Close enough.
You guys are obviously too busy to keep up with the chat, so I'm here to give you the lowdown on what the audience really thinks about voice tips. They love them. They're brilliant, always funny, entertaining, interesting, and relevant. If anything, we need more voices, accents, singing, rapping, emotions. Moody, get on it. I can't stress this enough. The people love voice tips, and they want more.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. That's actually a really good point. Could we get this so someone checks a box and the person has to sing what they're being told to say?
Yeah.
Adam Davies, that's a great idea right there.
That could be fun.
All right.
Like a singing telegram, but a voice tip.
Moody, I don't see you writing this down. I just want to point out.
I'll play this all back.
Okay, very good.
It's noting it down.
Good to see all you losers coping and seething that I stacked so many W this week. Suck it like I sucked Nick's banana juice out of April's meat slit.
Stop ignoring me on Friday's color. Just do it.
Sorry, John.
I heard that Stuttering John was on a show and asked about super tips. They wanted to get super tips. He was interested in that.
Oh, really?
Interesting. Well, so Stuttering John and Pat Dixon are best friends now. They're doing show. They're soon to be co-hosts. And, Bob has left TSN. So it's not long until Bob is teamed up with Pat and Stuttering John. And maybe super tips are in their future.
Hold on. Do you still think this Bob TSN thing is real?
It is. It is real.
I'm holding steady. Something's up.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from and what you're saying. It is real.
The timing would be to do that bit while the Kumia thing was ending would be too bizarre.
It's so petty. Like, I still don't understand what it's about. That's why I don't believe it.
Well, did you watch did you watch the entire episode on Wednesday, Bob Levy? Because I did watch it. I know what it's about.
It's the one. It's what money?
It's about money. Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the whole thing where he was like, Shuli always said the money was for Bob, but I never got it. It's not.
There was
good.
a lot of things. Dabblecot too. There's a lot. It was always came back to money on every single one.
My camera got unplugged.
And people like Carl relegated Gina Levy to the back of the room.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with that. I just want to point out.
Talent only, bitch.
Nothing to do with that at all. All right, I don't know why I'm going to stick with this next super tip here. But
459658979323862 Fold 379
what the fuck's up with Lucy's voice? What is that accent?
It's the vocal fry.
2954 from 937.
Oh, people with vocal fry never say numbers. That's why it's so confusing to me. They're not like mathematicians. They're like, and the square root of 49 is 7.
Maybe when her AI is not being used, she's just chain smoking.
That's very, very possible. We're worried about her. Kraut Cat, $5 says the Vikings are 92. Or 9-2.
9-2, I imagine.
I know that because I saw the whiteboard.
I thought about that this morning. Again, I'd love to just watch the first 5 minutes of the day. It'd be great.
We will. I have it queued up.
He did this thing where he's like, none of you deserve to have shows. None of you should have shows. And I was just like, don't you write the score of the Vikings up behind you every day? Like, why do we need your show? Like, what is your show?
He said he was talking about this girl that he had his feud with Laser 103, and he said, you're just out there doing a podcast from your basement. And he's like, I'm not doing a podcast. What I'm doing is I'm doing a radio show. The radio show was taken off the radio, and I'm the first person to continue to do the radio show, but online.
Not true, by the way. But
Let's talk about that. I heard him say that.
Anthony Cumia finds out.
Oh my God. I wrote this down in my notes. He goes, it's remarkable what we've been able to pull off. We're the first people to be #1 in radio and then move on and be successful online. And I went, okay, because my buddy Drew Lane has done that and is still doing that.
I'm on a show of a guy that's done that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Kirk Minahan for sure. Anthony Cumia for sure.
Scorch.
Scorch, yep.
Maybe not Scorch. Maybe it wasn't #1, but the list goes on and on. And the fact that Aaron has such a weird, small little bubble that he lives in, that he really thinks that he's the only guy who was on the radio and then transitioned to an online presence, it's crazy.
Yeah,
How does he think that?
He's like, guys, we're the only one to ever be listener supported and last this long, which is a hell of a hoot for a guy like me who's coming up on 20 years being listener supported. Right. I haven't had a full-time job since 2009, and I've made a living off my podcast. I know these guys think I had 20 listeners before I found. I get it, but okay, I never had radio, and then built something that I made my living for life. what's more impressive, that you had a job and then had an audience and then just transitioned it to another medium, or built something from scratch? I'd argue that every podcast that was built up from scratch is more impressive than Steel Toe losing his job and just doing his show online.
But
the next day.
none of them are listener supported, like Matt and Shane, Tim Dillon. None of them have like Patreon or anything.
Oh, I'll give you another example. My buddy Adam Curry from the No Agenda, a show that I love, who has been doing this for 17 years now. They call it Value for Value, where people just donate to their show. They make way, way, way more money. And that guy was on the radio. He was also a VJ for MTV, one of the original.
Well, you're talking about Adam Curry, the Podfather. I mean, it's not 17 years.
Yes. No Agenda's been 17 years, but yes.
Correct. Right, but he started the Source Code or whatever it was called. I mean, he was
Daily
one of
Source
the
Code,
very first. I mean, when
that's
I
why
started,
it's so insane that
started.
this fucking idiot thinks he got fired from his job, went to Twitch, and he's a pioneer. You're not. It's not impressive in any way. So let's talk about this real quick, because he was going through the whole history of why he got fired. And it's because of Heather, the DJ who got the job that he wanted in Des Moines, Iowa. And the way that he talks about it, I've never played this on my show. I want to go back and play the things he used to say about her on his show that got him fired, because it's crazy.
And before you play it, it's just to point out his narrative now is that the internet is so savage and he wants to get back to radio. But what he did was more savage than, I'd argue, what he said to this woman and about this woman on this clip you're going to play is probably more savage than anything anybody really goes after him about. And it was so bad that he got fired. So he was like, I'm too much of a bad boy for the radio. I got to get on the internet and play. And now he wants to run back to the radio because he can't mix it up on the internet. I don't get it.
The guys we named that have done, like Kirk, Kumia, the guys we were talking about before, they were all like, oh, well, obviously I'm done with radio. I don't fit there anymore. This is actually a better format for me. I feel freer here. Aaron's like, I need to get back. That's an insane thought to me, to get back to terrestrial radio.
What if
to go from Rumble Friday to FCC regulated radio? Like, what,
yeah, right.
What is that?
But like, what if Kumia was like, man, I'm just trying to get back to radio. I gotta. I sent. Look.
Oh, well, Opie actually says that from time to time. So
yeah, but they offered him a job with no money.
Yeah. Well, Mike, to your point, so as he's going off on this Heather woman who still has the job that he wanted in Iowa, he goes, yeah, but you know what? Either the way that radio works out, she's probably making less money or has more responsibilities. Like, yeah, the thing that you're trying to do, the thing you're hoping you accomplish because it will change your life. Like, what are you talking about? And then he's like putting down having a radio gig. But this is what he said about Heather today. And I'm sure he said this before. But as he's describing, and I don't have the clip, I've heard it, and I've been planning on playing it at some point in the future. But I mean, there's a lot of clips. So there's stuff that he used to say about Heather that got him fired. He's now trying to spin it. And every time that I love when Aaron goes through his history because it changes every time. So he's trying to spin it in that she's a professional victim who milked that and made it seem like he was the bad guy to the point where people believed her.
Well, don't forget, she was having fun at first. She was enjoying it. And gaining listeners because Aaron in Minnesota was talking about her in Iowa somehow.
Completely different market. Yeah, it made no sense at all. Right. It's like, this is before the internet. They weren't streaming.
Carl, what are you talking? Are you trying to tell me that a woman that Aaron has harassed is now, it turned out that she's some opportunist that lied about how much he harassed her and that she actually enjoyed it, and she's now making up the fact that he harassed her. What are
chances? It's amazing you came to that on your own, because Aaron actually made that comparison. He goes, honestly, it's a lot like April. I swear to God he said that.
He's incredible. And that actually brings me to another thing that I wrote down in my notes, because you were talking about this, Mike, and I think it's one of the things, you know, when Aaron says that we're seething, we're not seething, we're observing. And one of the things that we're all observing is how Aaron thinks he's so cute. And it's one of the things that it doesn't make me seethe. I just go, ugh, it's just annoying. He thinks he's being so cutesy with his little bits.
It was actually my favorite part of the things I pointed out in the Beggy Monster. Like, the Beggy Monster thing was funnier, but to me, the thing that like bothered me more was him being like, you guys know I'm just messing around with you, right? Like, that tone of like, come on, gang, aren't I the cutest? Like,
he was doing that all morning this morning.
You're not a little ragamuffin, Aaron. You're a 37-year-old man.
Yeah, he just called himself Rascal in the Morning. Why is he Steel Toe? Like, Steel Toe is like a guy who fucking blue-collar job, works for a living, up at 5 a.m. every day. And Aaron's just trying to be like, ooh, did I say that? Woo-hoo-hoo.
It has been getting worse over the time, though. He's been turning it up. I've been watching the Pretty Antisocial podcast, and to see Haley's trajectory on there from like laughing at Aaron to be physically disgusted every time he comes on has been, it's so good.
Now you know what it's like to be married to him.
Really imagine.
I want to know that real quick. You talk about like when April leaves, he badmouths her. When this Heather chick leaves, he rewrites history. Well, he did that with Keanu and Gino too. Remember, they were going through the merger and they were desperate for money. They probably just needed the money, and the steel toe hating business is so lucrative that they had to make the switch, just like you, Carl. And it's just
he said that about me too. Yes.
It's a business decision. You gotta, at some point, you gotta flip the tracks over to make fun of steel toe business.
Patrick, as you know, as I broadcast from WTP Studio South, I'm very desperate for money, and the only way to get through this was to start talking about Aaron Imholt. So yes, he was right about that.
Like these people, and when I say these people, I'm Chad, Stuttering John, KB, Keanu, Gino, now Aaron. They all like. The minute they have a falling out, they say the most horrible shit. Bob Levy about each other. They attack full on like it's real. It's very real, and it gets very personal. And then a month later, they're all teamed up and working together again. And when it's somebody like Chad or Stuttering John or KB, they may pretend like they're friendly and working together again, but in the back of all their heads, they know and they really think like their innermost thoughts. This guy's a piece of shit. I don't trust him. Like that's what they all think about each other. I don't have that feeling about any of you that, hey, this is just a show. I don't really trust Carl. I can't really talk to Carl. He's a piece of shit who will backstab me. I don't have that feeling with anybody. And the minute I did, it's like why people are like, why don't you smooth it over? It's Chad. It's like, I think Chad is an irredeemable lying piece of shit. I will never trust him. I don't know what he'd have to do to prove to me like he's become a better person, but I just know better, and I'll never team up with him and work even like in a superficial way. How does she go back now and sit beside him and reconcile all that stuff he said about her and she said about him, and now they're just teamed up again? And they don't really like each other or trust each other. So what is it?
And say what you want about all like John and Kevin and even like Chad, no one has been accused of headbutting their wife. So for Keanu, it's even more of a serious thing.
Today I saw somebody on Twitter. This is how far delusional and broken people are in this universe. Today somebody on Twitter said, if you thought ESO was bad, you should see what Melton's up to. So now they're covering for a guy who's been arrested with 6,000 child porn images to just say you should see some of the jokes Melton makes.
Also, I don't know if people realize how bad.
I'm dead.
I don't know if people realize how much of a piece of shit ESO is, but he was threatening his wife that he was going to take her down with him if she said anything. And thank God she got the courage to alert the authorities and turn him in, because this was going on for years. And then she found, and he's like, I'm better. And he would fight with her. And then she found another computer with more shit. And then she finally called the cops. Like, thank God.
Today,
this guy
people were
put in prison.
People were telling Bob on Twitter, like, wow, you just got out of TSN working with ESO, and now you team up with a worse guy. And it's like,
wow,
this is insane.
People are fucking
wild.
And not to get serious, but this is what happens when these people call everyone a pedo and a Nazi. All of a sudden, no one's a pedo or a Nazi.
Well,
it's like, no, there's actual real pedos and real Nazis.
Everybody watched it happen with Trump, and then Elon. It's like, now this is a viral disease that just affects people. Derangement syndrome about anything. People are convinced I'm worse than a convicted pedophile.
Right.
Like, I'm literally. They were like, "You think ESO is bad? You should see Melton." It's like, what the fuck is everybody talking about?
And it's also these same people that make those accusations have records of doing way worse stuff. Like there was
sometimes,
or it's been done to them. Like this, from what I understand, the guy who runs the Kiwi Farm stuff, like they do it, and so they all turn around and do it to each other. It's just like, okay, there's never been a better time to actually be a pedophile. I'll tell you that. Like imagine that. Like you could really hide in the weeds.
It's not at all about protecting children, because if they wanted to protect children, they would accuse actual pedophiles rather than everyone I hate as a pedophile.
No, and they wouldn't let it go and abandon it for the next argument. Like, yeah, he also broke copyright law. It's like,
yeah, right.
It's like
Hold on, are kids in danger?
These Kino Casino guys have come out against this person that basically bankrolled them to go on a debaucherous week in Vegas. Right. And now that it starts to leak out, they're like, he's fired from everything. He's actually a pedophile. He's a disgusting
He's got
man.
sus porn. He watches sus porn.
It's like, so he was okay. He was okay up until he leaked things out. You were okay with having that.
EVP was like, when I walked in and saw this 5-foot guy in a conquistador hat, I was like, oh, fuck, this is degeneracy. It's like, but then you bit your lip about it for 18 months until it leaked, and now he's a piece of shit. Okay, folks.
To Patrick's earlier point, though, I did love when Bob Costas confronted Jerry Sandusky about streaming Major League Baseball. That was an important moment.
The Pants Maestro, $20, and I do want to play the first 5 minutes of the show today. $20 says, I'm sorry I'm late, guys. I was getting donkey lips drunk. How much to kick Moody? 118 away from kicking Moody, guys. 118 away. If someone wants to give it all in one chunk, we'll get rid of it right away.
Yeah, we'll take 5.
The donkey lip stuff that you did on your show last night, I have to admit I was listening to it while nodding in and out of sleep, and it gave me some fucked up dreams. That guy's got some problems.
Were you ordering turkeys? Were you ordering hams?
Dude, he's like, guys, I'm just thankful. It's Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful. And then I lost consciousness. The next thing I tuned back into, he's talking about how his life is the worst life he's ever lived. And he can't go another day. I was like, whoa, what the fuck just happened?
I got to figure something out.
Carl, have you seen him make tacos in his toilet?
No, I have not.
He doesn't have a kitchen, so he goes and makes mince in his toilet, and he puts the strainer on the toilet seat because he doesn't have a sink, and he pours the beef into the.
And I'm not kidding. The meat is going like through the strainer and touching the toilet seat. It's like it's so insane. Gross. It's like,
but his toilet seat's probably pretty clean, right?
Yeah,
he's like a healthy guy.
Who doesn't, he has a wiping stick, right?
Yeah. It's a authentic
he wipes
yellow
himself
brown.
on his. Was he the guy? No, that was the other chick who wiped herself on her bed. You were playing on the show.
I could. So we went down a fat rabbit hole. I'm fascinated by people fatter than me.
There's a lot going on. What did I just?
You've got to hit play at the top of the screen.
I do, but I don't want to play that one. I think I just missed something.
Yeah, it'll go to the next one if.
Oh, right.
You can hit, or you can hit skip.
You're right.
Yo. Boom, bam, bap, pow. What's up, my Wiggers? Why is there no Aaron voice on the show? You need a new Moody. Maybe a movie can get this done.
People act like they didn't like AI Aaron, but they all want AI Aaron back.
Look, I've improved AI Aaron. I don't have him this week. Maybe we'll have him next week. But I was talking to someone about setting up an AI Aaron show that's hooked up to the chat because
24/7. I was just gonna say this. Fuck.
That's all Aaron does is he reacts to the chat. It's not going to take a lot.
I had this idea the other day. I was like, no. Can we get a 24/7 streaming just that picture of Aaron AI? And yes, he just talks to the chat, and the chat can ask him questions, but only super chats.
Right.
The only answer is super chat.
Wait, I have a better idea. It's not 24/7. It's only when Aaron's live. He goes up against himself.
Beats him.
Yes. And we get more viewers watching AI Aaron.
And AI Aaron is like tapped into the API so you can tell like how many viewers Moody has right now live and whether he's beating him. Is there another win for the AI toe?
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. We got to make this
happen. This will be good. This could be good.
But it is fun. It's a fun idea.
I don't see you writing this down, Moody.
No, we got it.
I already have the idea. It's set up. It's set up. He's so much better now. He goes on monologues. And he can talk about whose dick is bigger and cocaine and all of that. So
Edward Carl can interview him finally.
Thank you.
Yeah, finally.
Hey, you like sucking cock, Aaron?
Aaron's like, I don't like big dicks because I'm a size queen. I just like long lines.
I want to thank my friend KJ, who supports this show, other shows that we do, and other friends of ours do. KJ, thank you so much. $50.
Yeah, she says KJ's nice.
She's awesome. She says my 3 favorite men, and Moody is there too.
Yeah, halflings aren't really considered men, so it's right. It's fine.
He's more of a hobbit. But thank you very much, KJ. We appreciate it.
We're gonna get him some stilts for Hackamania too, so Moody can be on the same level as everybody else.
You can say freedom of speech all you want, but if that guy uses his freedom of speech to shut you down, and he's not using a government but a private company to do so, then he's free to do so.
That was an actual quote of Aaron condoning the legend striking my Patreon.
Yes, that is.
I got what Aaron was trying to say. I got what he meant. Like Aaron was saying, if you poke Stuttering John enough and go after his family or whatever, what do you expect him to do? He's going to retaliate. He might be a moron, and I don't agree with what he's doing, but you know he's going to do something. So I got what he was trying to say, I think.
Well, it all boils down to none of these guys know how the law works at all. They all think they're all brains are so simple. Like you did something bad, so something bad should happen to you. It's like, well, that's not. You don't get to go like, well, Chad picked a fight with Stuttering John, so Stuttering John can copyright strike him fair use going over his videos. It's like, well, no. I mean, like what?
Well, this is the thing. So Aaron already decides like who his friends are and who his enemies are. And then he tries to figure out the arguments for why his friends are okay and his enemies are bad. He did this on the show today. I wrote it down. He goes, these shows just talk about drama. They don't survive. It can't last very long. And that's how I do. That's why Shuley is tanking. Because, you know, he's just talking about the Stuttering John drama. Now Kevin Brennan, you know, he never gets too personal. Kevin Brennan, it might be a drama show, but he never gets too personal. I'm sitting there going, he did 2 hours on
Silverman.
He did 2 hours on a video of my wife that was 5 seconds long. He never gets too personal though. It's great.
That was the one time I feel like he didn't cover it enough.
Right, yeah. So he did way more analysis. And then he goes, now people, you guys might say that I talk about drama, but I do it the right way. I sprinkle it in. Sure. You know, the way that he does the drama is the right way. It's wild to hear him trying to figure these things out because he obviously didn't think about this ahead of time.
I got what he was trying to say, and then he completely he launched into talking about Bob Levy and Kevin Brennan. I was like, but Aaron, you're talking about it now. What do you just talked about how gross it is and how horrible it is to do a show around this, and then launched into a discussion about it.
His caveat that he put in was, it's only okay if you treat it as a news story. Like, here's a piece of drama news that happened. That's how you talk about everything. Here's the thing that happened. Let's talk about. Like, how is that different?
Elias Campos says, I found WATP through ROTS. I did listen to the Steely Toe show. Stop after the weird Bob Levy tax. Don't listen to ROTS. Now I listen to Blind Mike, Patrick Melton, and Carl.
Oh. What's ROTS? Revenge of the Simps?
Revenge of the Sis. They hate their brothers.
Is it ROTC? Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you found us.
And by the way, Carl, I got a bone to pick with you. Let's do it in public. You're not going to fix things up with me and Mersh now? You piece of shit?
I get to know, like, once every 2 weeks or so, like, hey, Carol, ask Mersh to come on this little thing.
No.
You guys are fighting. I don't know what to tell you.
Be fair. It's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but he was going to come on. I see him down there in the corner, and then he bails on the show. Have you heard? I'm just asking, have you heard anything? Like, has he?
We haven't talked to him.
He's never answered since.
Well, I haven't reached out to him since.
Oh, man. I just want to get Mersh on. I feel like this is a big...
Mersh and I don't have, like, a great relationship. The only time I reached out to him was, like, when he makes Johnny Crutches cry. Then I'm like, hey, man, great job. That's basically my communication with Mersh.
I've laid off him. I'm trying to be nice. Come on, Mersh.
All right. Mersh, love to have you on the show.
I love Mersh's steel toe coverage. I think it would be great on this show. I think it'd be fantastic.
Len Christmas with £5 says, I like to think the beggy monster is why Aaron has to pay the goal out of his own money sometimes. It shakes him down before he can go back upstairs. That's a good point. When he's like, fine, I'll cover the $20, guys. Like, the fucking beggy monster's like, hey, where's my $3.50 asshole?
I'm not leaving.
He's in the top of the basement, the troll toll.
John Seward from our Patreon said BMP now stands for the Beggy Monster Project. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, no. Put on a mask every week.
Yes.
All right, everyone. We're talking about Anthony Jeselnik.
Why is the Beggy Monster talking about Anthony Jeselnik?
Just do my regular show.
Yeah. Pest with $2 says, having dumb and Tard on the show witness tampering on his show. Oh, having dumb and Tard on his show witness tampering.
Oh,
that was his opening joke that they didn't hear, so it bombed. He goes, hey, Gino, I got a picture of a new gal to send you. And he didn't hear
I didn't
it,
see that.
so it just
Okay.
sat there for a second.
Whoops.
Not since Melton bragged about still having access to Aaron's Gmail have I seen someone so brazen and stupid.
Joe Corson, right? $2 says, Aaron looks like a Downsy John Lithgow. Okay, I see that. David R. Fuller, $5. Beggy Monster drawing now on r/Steel Toe Boring Show. Please don't sue me, Sesame Street. Oh, there's drawings up on the subreddit.
Oh, yeah.
Steel Toe Boring Show. Very
I might
good.
get a
All right.
tattoo.
Dang Lizard was €5. Happy Thanksgiving, Dang Lizard. Never forget, Aaron tried to get a job lynch mob after Heather by having his fans post on social media. She uses the N-word and is privately a racist. This is the thing. It goes so deep with what he did to this woman. And now he's like, she's just playing a victim. All I was doing was having a fun show.
Literally,
Is that audio
like,
out there anywhere? I've never heard it.
yeah,
There
Heather
is,
and Fish. But like, he literally like tried to enact gay ops on his show. He was like, guys, go to their Facebook, just take it over, post the most heinous shit, go to their Twitter, go to their, like, don't even let her breathe, guys. Let her know that, like, we want this woman to kill herself. We want her off the internet. Like, it was rough. It was like,
we want
you
to send
can't.
her to the mental hospital.
Yes,
is what he said.
Yes. Same as Chad wanting that woman to kill herself. It was pretty much that email.
He blamed it on listening to too much Red Bar. So he said, I was listening to too much Red Bar at the time, and that's why I went after her in that way. And when you listen back to it,
He's an adult man.
Yeah,
when
right,
you listen
right.
back to it, it does sound very Mike, like.
Your
very
Honor, I
much
did
like Mike.
drive her off a bridge, but I was listening to Stan on loop. Doesn't work.
Well, Opie and Anthony used to have their pests go and fuck with these radio shows' Facebook pages, but they never asked them to. It was never a thing like, okay, guys, you know what to do now. It's just like, that's not how you activate your listeners. You don't tell them to do your gay ops.
No, and there were instances where they were like, that was a little far. You know?
Yeah, right. They would, go, guys, let's not do that again.
But the same thing Aaron does. Aaron says we're in our Discord doing gay ops, telling our fans to go, like, show any clip of me telling fans to go screw with Aaron's Facebook or Toe Boys or chat room. People go troll your chat room because you ban them nonstop. You get a reaction. It's like I actually banned Doom and Turbs McGurk from my Discord before the show. I've had enough of those guys.
See? Look at, he's seething over here.
He's seething. He's
obviously seething. He's banning people from his Discord. Yeah, I thought it was open for everyone, and now you're seething.
That's a joke too. Like Kino Casino is now telling everybody that Discord is so locked down and you can't get into it because we've had to do this phone number thing. Moody can attest to this. I didn't even know we were doing the phone number thing or having a problem. Like, I'm not involved in the admin day to day of the Discord. I'm really not. I had no idea we were doing this. Moody did it.
All that happened was we was starting to get an influx of people calling themselves like N-word Hitler and that sort of thing. And
I'm sorry about that. I was having a bad day.
That's your alt account.
Yeah.
We didn't want people to start spamming the Discord, and I don't want the mods to have to do too much work. It's a very light touch over there. And so we added this phone verification, which doesn't prevent you from joining and reading. You can join and read it even if you haven't phone verified your account. But if you want to start typing in, you just phone verify your account with Discord and you can participate.
So there's no bots or raids or whatever. And then Aaron's convinced that we locked this down because we're afraid of his spies. Because spies can't get phones. It's so stupid. I don't.
Well, I say free Doom. I'm a Doom guy.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm unbanning them right after that. I was fucking around.
But this,
I do that all the time.
Aren't you glad you can't see all this fucking nonsense with Discord and shit, and message boards?
Fuck. I don't know how much I would be on Reddit or Discord in particular if I could see, because like it's very confusing to me.
Yeah,
it
it's
moves
nonsense.
too fast for me. So I've never been on it, and it would be a nightmare if I was able to obsess over it.
But this Aaron going back and like rewriting history with this Heather lady. He's like I was helping her. Like we were having a back and forth. It's like if he said, I was helping April. Doesn't every human being need to exhale? I was helping.
Right.
I was just helping her do that.
It's like if the hijackers are like, we were helping the CIA. Oh wait, never mind.
Well, it's like
that.
he rewrites everything. Let's talk about Alex Stein and Fish Tank.
Yeah.
Alex Stein went on to promote the biggest show on YouTube.
Alex Stein
Steel
is
Toe Morning
making
Show.
Aaron a star, he said. He's
Yeah.
making me a star. And he goes, and the Steel Toe haters are trying to turn this into a negative.
Right, you guys don't get that Aaron is able to poke fun at himself, don't you see?
Well, I know Alex Stein relatively well. I know his career and what he's done. He goes, getting trolled by Alex is an honor because he's a professional troll.
Alex Stein.
That is not true.
Alex Stein is a painter, and if you happen to be so lucky to be one of the paints that he chooses to brush onto his canvas,
or a muse.
Alex Stein is a brilliant troll. He leans right and he goes after left wingers and humiliates them. And will go on college campuses. He'll go in front of boards and he'll do all these things. It's not a badge of honor. No one's just like, I'm really glad Alex Stein showed up to this.
And again, like, it shows Aaron's complete lack of understanding about like the internet and the world and how big he is and how big all this stuff is in the zeitgeist of general knowledge. If you went to a mall, again, I don't even know why I say a mall because that's not an important like meeting place for people anymore. But if you stopped 100 random people on the street in any city USA and asked them who Alex Stein is, they wouldn't know. What Fish Tank Live is, they wouldn't know. This guy's delusional. Like, Alex Stein's making me famous. It's like no one knows what any of this is. No one. Like a very small proportion of I get more people know who Fish Tank Live is than know who Alex Stein is, than know who Aaron Imholt is. But in Aaron's mind, he's gonna rocket to the top of all this stuff. I'll be bigger than Fish Tank Live and Sam Hyde.
But my take from it wasn't even that. It was like he's like, I'm such a good sport about this, and I play along. Like I know, guys, I know Alex is making fun of me. That's what makes me great. I play along with it. I'm in on the joke even more than you guys are. And it's like, but then you're also banning people who say beggy monster.
Right. Can't have it both ways on that.
And he does let it slip. Like, I wish he'd stop saying Imholte. Like, I'm never gonna stop saying it now. You fucking idiot.
Seething Obama $5. This is also an interesting point we haven't brought up yet. Imagine trying to get on radio and then confessing on video that you masturbated at your old radio show using their computer and then you left cum-filled tissues.
Mm-hmm.
While searching for a new radio job. While searching for a new radio job.
It is a wonder all of us missed this because the Pretty Antisocial Girls found it, and it is insane to hear him admit this.
Yeah. So this is a true story that he recently said that he was jerking off and then leaving his little cum-filled tissues around in a ain't I a stinker kind of way.
He would go in the middle of the night to the radio station. He would get in the car to jerk off. That's an important thing to know here.
Okay.
He would feel it overcoming him. He would feel the need to release his seed. He'd get in the car. He would drive down to the radio station because he knew no one was there. He'd use the computers in the radio station to jerk off and leave cum-soaked tissues for his ex-boss to find. And also, he's in talks with the radio station to go back to work now.
What's he doing at the gym is what I want to know. What's he doing at his current employer?
He's really come a long way, though. Like, before he used to need to get into his car to jerk off. Now he doesn't even need to get into incognito mode. He just
allegedly
he just goes right to it.
Steris Video Team Box says Melton tried squashing it twice with Chad. Liar. Oh, you did want to be friends with Chad,
huh?
According to Steris Video.
I mean, sure. I mean, whatever. I didn't even whatever you interpreted me trying to make up with Chad twice. Sure.
Are you lying to us?
No,
I mean, you got to be specific. I don't know what you're talking about.
Pat, the point Patrick was making, and I totally agree with him, and so I understand this completely, is like, let's say that Chad did a 180, totally different guy. All of a sudden, he's doing an entertaining show. He's not going after people. It's not like I'm going to be like, yeah, why don't we do Hackamania together or come to the next DabbleCon? It's like, I would never work with him the rest of my life.
I can't rely. Yeah, I can't rely. Chad's like John. He'll not get on the plane last minute, or he'll want double the money, or it's just like, right,
yeah. You know who that person is. It's not worth it. There's nothing they could do to make you think like, all right, yeah, we should do a project together.
And what's the upside? We get to see Chad Zumach's jokes.
Well, right.
We've seen him.
Red 473, $5 says Melton. There's never been a better time to be a pedophile. Clip. Yeah, that could be taken.
That's not what I said. I said there's never been a better time to be an actual pedophile because you're going to listen hide in the weeds of all the accusations. Jesus Christ.
Boardroom Ginny with $20. Thank you. There's an envelope right there, my friends. Thank you. That's what this show was all about. The money. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. How much to keep Moody? You just made it happen, Boardroom Jimmy.
Well, we should set up a Super Tips poll.
$400 to get rid of Moody.
By the way, Carl, edit that out. That pedophile never been a better time.
No problem. I got it, buddy.
This is going to be rough.
I got it timestamped. Matthew Rowley says, "What is Donkey Lips drunk?" Do you understand what that means?
Oh. No, I don't know. I think he's doing a stream today where he's watching the Raiders and people pay him to do shots, and he thinks like this is going to be his introduction to the super chat world. He's like, people give chats for you to drink, so I think I'm going to do that.
Was he watching Kino Casino from 18 months ago? Why does he think that's a good idea? All right, let's watch the show today. This was the big 4-year anniversary Steel Toe morning show.
Fuck yeah.
Aaron himself admitted was totally a grift for money, didn't care about putting on a show, just wanted people to give him money.
Real quick before you hit play on this, how long do you think it takes him every day to make his thumbnails?
If this took more than 2 minutes, I'd be upset with that.
I'd be willing to bet this takes him 20 minutes every day. No. I'm not even kidding. Like, if you could screen record him making thumbnails, I think it'd be some of the best comedy of our time.
What do you think he makes this thumbnail in? PowerPoint?
Canva.
Canva. That's not even Canva quality. Maybe.
No, he's found a way. He's just set the background to be black. He's put his morning show thing on the side. He
calls that the new logo. That's the new logo.
He's got the cornerstone of Any Good Day at the bottom, and then he just goes on Google Images, searches Happy Anniversary and Vikings, and puts that in. It's straight up.
But he even he doesn't even own the rights to this Happy Anniversary.
No, that's a meme. People do that now.
Oh, they do that now? That's a funny thing?
Yeah, that's funny.
Ugh, okay.
Everybody, good morning and welcome. It's our 4th anniversary. 4 years.
Mike loves this guy.
Comes right after our 10th anniversary.
Remember this past summer we did our 10th anniversary show? Well, guess what? November is our 4th anniversary.
He's surrounded by anniversaries. It's the 4th anniversary. A couple months ago, it was the 10th anniversary. He's got Stoney's 30th anniversary at the bottom right of the screen.
And next month, believe it or not, it'll be April and his 3rd anniversary.
Away from my beautiful radio, the industry that I went to school for, that I got a degree for.
Hold on a second.
Useless.
Yeah, he got a community college degree, and this is the first thing he's bringing up. I mean, this is Stuttering John level. He talks about it all the time. He's just like, I had to leave Howard Stern. I went to NYU for film and television. Of course I'm going to go work for Jay Leno. It's like, no one, you're an adult now. Who cares about your fucking degree?
Carl, you act like a doctor who only went to school for 2 years doesn't know anything about medical stuff.
Yeah, kind of. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Also, I imagine, I haven't risen to the heights of being #1 in the mornings in St. Cloud, but I imagine if you're a talented radio guy, your next job isn't like, well, let me see your resume. Where did you graduate from? It's meaningless in radio. They don't give a fuck if you didn't graduate high school.
I've said this before. How would this guy put together an air check? Like, how would he make a demo to get to a station to go, this is what Steel Toe is. This is what the show is. Like, what would that be? He literally cannot take any show from this year and go, here's what a typical Steel Toe show is. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
4 years away in exile. That's what this is. This is exile. We've been in a 4-year exile.
Oh, well, we've been supporting you
all
for
the
4
greats
years,
have to go through exile.
If you go
Mike
back to
Tyson, well, that was when
when he got kicked off the radio, it was like, dude, radio is so passe and old school. We're moving on. We're doing stuff you couldn't even imagine on radio. This is the new medium, bigger and better.
Yep.
But now it's exile and a punishment. We can't wait to get back. How do you balance these two thoughts that you're doing something nobody's ever done and it's worth celebrating and this is awesome, we're independent, but also like, dear God, can we get back in the boat?
Patrick, this is the thing, and I think you told this story about how I apologized to you in my house when you came over after DabbleCon 2. This is the thing that I didn't understand because I only watched him a little bit. I didn't realize that depending on the time of when you're watching him talk about something, he has a completely different story for it.
Right.
And he's not a real person. Like every single time he's talking about something that happened in his life, like today was a perfect example of that. I wrote down a lot of notes about it where he's just like, oh, now you're saying that this is what happened. You know, he was saying that in February, they've never done better shows, and April's the best co-host, and they're the best duo to ever be on the internet. And then fast forward a few months, he's like, those are the worst shows ever, and we were phoning it in, and April was high and showed up an hour late. It's just like...
You can watch it this week. Monday and Tuesday, he said, Melton's showing things here saying Nielsen ratings, but they're not Nielsen ratings. They're fake. They say Steel Toe Morning Show. They don't say WHMH. Then I proved that they do say WHMH. He's like, all right, they are Nielsen ratings, but... they're the wrong Nielsen ratings, and we actually were so good at number 1 that we brought the whole station up to number 4. And then Moody went and did research and found out that station's been doing better since he left.
Oh my gosh! All right, I have to. Now that you brought that up, I have to read this note because he literally said when he was on the radio, the station hated him for carrying the entire station. He goes, guys, they hated me over there because I was carrying the entire station. They don't want the one guy to have too much power.
This bastard keeping us employed.
Our rating shouldn't be this good. We shouldn't be charging this much for advertising.
They hate
Aaron,
Howard
let us
Stern.
carry our own weight.
XM hates Howard Stern. They hate him.
He said about this, like the blowback from the Laser 103 thing, was he lost one person who was the chiropractor. That was the person he lost as an advertiser, but he doesn't realize the impact it has on the rest of the radio station. So his one show and the advertisers on there might be okay with him acting this way, but the rest of the shows, like the rest of the radio channels advertisers are gonna be asking to not be on there anymore.
You missed one element though. It wasn't the chiropractor. It was the chiropractor's wife that was being a bitch.
What a bitch she was.
Right. He was cool.
Heather probably DM'd her on Facebook and told her to tell her husband.
She's a real pain in his neck.
Hey.
You know what? That's a bad example. Muhammad Ali. Maybe that's what I need to do. Convert to Islam. I ain't got no quarrel with that Laser 103.3. Ain't no Laser 101.
I think the more you watch Steel Toe, the more you realize how bad it is and how much he lies. I think very surface level, if we were just to forget everything that we knew about this man, that introduction and his bravado and the way that he speaks kind of sounds morning showish, like maybe someone is like, it sounds
that's exactly you're describing exactly how I thought of Aaron. Like I found him because he did an interview with Kumia, and I think I might have even like messaged him and said like, hey man, I'm enjoying your show, like maybe I can get on sometime or something like that. I think that's the only correspondence I've ever had with Aaron. And then I went for like a year without ever listening to him. And then I was like, what is this? Why is it so different than what I heard?
I agree with you, Mike. I was the same way. And maybe a year and a half ago, like that would be the case. But I would argue that the content is so bizarre at this point that anyone you show this to within 20 minutes are going like, what is this? Like, he's so bizarre. Again, I said this all the time, but like, what does he think his show is? He's covering like Tim Waltz news and like political stories and then like funny animal stories, and then like you won't believe what April's tweets were. It's like, what is this?
The Vikings game,
right?
1.3. You ever call me, Nick? Whatever the case is, hopefully we can put the bad year that was 2024 personally behind us. This is kind of a speech for the New Year's show, but whatever.
Well, he already said that he was going to make less money this year than he made last year, and that last year was a bad year, and he caught himself there. I haven't watched the beginning of this yet. I'm just seeing this now. He just caught himself. He goes, let's get this 2024, which is a bad year. Personally, we're killing it, though. The show's killing it. We never had more viewers. We never made more money. Just personally.
I'm glad you cut it off because I don't want him to spoil the New Year's speech.
It's also important to know that he's never been doing worse financially and never made so many cuts on the program. April, Gino, Keanu, Johnny, Matt. Like they're all gone. All the budget that got cut for the 10th anniversary show that never happened. Remember the food trucks and the remotes and the all that never manifested itself. And then and he's still struggling for money. So it's double bad.
I say this every week, but he made over $20,000 a month when he was on Twitch.
Yes.
And now he struggles to make $2,000 to $3,000 through Super Chats.
I love KJ is reminiscent of Gary Delabate. My personal life is at a 2. My professional life is at a 9. Basically, is what he's saying here.
Right.
That was
he did fantasize today, though. Like he was doing a fantasizing thing where he's like, you know what I should have done is kept all I should have let April keep her day job.
Yes.
I keep Corey Adam. He was reliving this fantasy camp, and I was like, "What good does this do? None of these people are here anymore."
And even when he's dreaming, when he dreams, he reaches for Corey Adam. It's so, but it's like Corey Adam sucks. Corey Adam hasn't done a video in months. Corey Adam sucks. What are you talking about?
Also, Patrick, he said today that he paid Corey and Johnny and Matt and Oz and all these guys way too much money.
More than the radio, he said.
Oh, he was so generous. He goes, these guys were making bank. It was crazy what I was paying them. And he kept slipping in for a part-time job. I was paying them so much money for a part-time job. But he was patting himself on the back, and he's just like, I'm a bad businessman because I'm just so generous with all this money that I was giving out to people. But then he also said he couldn't afford Corey Adam, which is also a slap in the face to Matt and Johnny Crutches, who apparently he can afford.
Well, he made Johnny wait to get paid an extra week while he went out and bought a new jersey and talked about going to a Vikings game one weekend. And I was like, this guy's a piece of shit. This guy's fucking...
Well, in his defense, the ladies' jerseys are a little bit cheaper than the men's jerseys, so...
Okay. All right.
It's so insulting, because he calls Johnny a co-host, right? Johnny's not a producer or anything.
Sure.
He's like a co-host on the show. He's like, who would I have in a dream scenario? Corey Adam. Anyways, Johnny will be back on Monday.
That's a great point. It's so insulting. He doesn't even realize he's doing it.
And Corey cannot be more disinterested as a co-host as well. I mean, for us, before the show and everything, we're watching Steel Toe and we bring something to, I guess, talk about. Corey's not plugged into anything happening in that world, and he doesn't bring in any news stories. He contributes... I don't think he contributes nothing really to the show.
No, they're all. He only wants shitty people on with him. That's the whole thing.
It's so foreign to me because producer Chris doesn't have to watch the podcast that we're reviewing. He does have to pull clips. He can just sit there and hit drops and crack wise. And yet he always asks me, Carl, what are we doing this week? What are we doing? He watches it. He knows the shit. I never ask him to do that. Just be interested. Why not be interested in what you do for fun? It's crazy.
Curiosity. Face level curiosity.
Could you imagine if Johnny Crutch was just like, hey, what are the top 3 or 5 stories we're going to do on the show tomorrow? It would never have occurred to these people.
They go live, and then you realize Johnny's mic doesn't work, and you realize they don't talk before the show. They don't talk off the show. They don't talk. They're not real friends.
I'm going to give a super tip to all the people who want to get into this podcasting stuff. I went on Ray DeVito's show last year, and I was messaging him like, Ray, what are we talking about? What are we doing? Never got back to me. I go on. He starts asking me about this NBA story I know nothing about. I don't care about the NBA. And afterwards I go, Ray, give me a heads up. I would have read an article or two and had a take. You should know about what people are going to be talking about. It's kind of an important thing in order to carry a conversation along. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
The case is, hopefully, we can put the bad year that was 2024 personally behind us. This is kind of a speech for the New Year's show, but whatever. And I'm hoping that in year 5, the exile can come to an end.
I won't be stuck with you people anymore.
Yeah. So that's getting back to radio is what he's talking about?
Does he carry around this crowd goes wild drop? It's so it's
he's
so
at the
insane.
Restaurant with them.
Yeah. I think I'll have the Caesar salad.
Hey, a server, ask Slampy if I made her come last night. He hits the drop. Yeah.
He waits till the waiter comes over to get the check to write the tip in front of him and then hits it You just hit the goal. You just hit the goal.
He's saying, unless maybe I'm misunderstanding him, but he's saying like it's been horrible being on the internet with the current audience that I have. What I dream of is going back to the radio, which I presumably would be a different audience. Right.
Oh, even though the radio audience is still here on the internet. He talks to them. He's like, you guys who are the radio audience, you get it. And it's like, you don't have a radio audience.
Right. And so to all the people that have supported him wherever they are in the country, he's saying, fuck you. I want to be on a fucking satellite in St. Cloud, Minnesota.
There was a time last year he actually said this. He goes, there are thousands of people in the St. Cloud market who wonder where we went and still don't know. And if I can get back on the radio, I can recapture those people. And it's like,
those poor people wandering the streets.
Yeah, they don't even go to work. They get in their car in the morning and they just do circles around the block, flipping through the dial like he was here yesterday.
Aaron, where are you?
Well, Mike, just to overanalyze what you just said a little bit, this is how Aaron thinks. Radio is a one-way communication. Internet is a two-way communication. It should be all Aaron all the time. He doesn't need to hear feedback. He just wants to be telling you what's going on. This is why he talks about internet people like they're different than just people.
Yeah, he hates it. He wants to go back to that bunker where he doesn't have to hear anything, and a call screener makes sure they're a fan first.
Yes, right. Yes, make sure you say love the show, love you before you say anything. Like that's literally like the world he wants to live in.
Yep.
He's also not.
Some applause is still going. I'm sorry. What's that movie?
It's okay. If he ever makes it back to radio, there's no way through selling advertisers and the salary that he gets paid, he'll get anywhere close to what he needs for his current lifestyle.
No, he'll still do the show at night.
Right.
Yes. I think he'll say the Steel Toe morning show is back on the radio. The Steel Toe evening show stays on the internet.
God damn. And then they'll finally be two different audiences.
Yeah.
The morning show hates the evening show.
The goal will remain on the evening show.
Oh, damn it.
Well, wasn't the proposal that he put out that he'd be allowed to simulcast his radio show on Twitch and YouTube or wherever, so that it would still do the Steel Toe morning show for all of us losers?
I'm glad you brought that up. I on Monday he was saying we have 1,000 viewers across all platforms, and I went and looked. It was like 400 and something on YouTube, 300 and something on Rumble, 5 on Facebook, and 1 on Kick. I assume that was me.
Yeah.
And then him and Johnny were arguing Wednesday, like, should we do the anniversary, the 4th anniversary big show? Should we put that on all platforms? And it's just like, I don't know. Do those 6 people?
I know, really.
Like, what is he doing? And then he took down the show, I guess, because it had Kayla's name in it. Wednesday, like
he did take that down.
But he leaves it up on Kick and Rumble and Facebook. It's just like, what is it? And you go look at every show he has on Kick. It's like 5 views, 3 views, 4. It's like,
and that's inflated. Kick's inflated too. It's they turned 1 view into 5. It's amazing.
Come to an end. That's what I'm hoping for. And then we can all of the different platforms that we've cultivated can come together.
Kick.
And the Steel Toe unity will be complete.
That's the other thing too. What was he? I think he was talking about you, Melton, where he goes, this guy's crazy. He's only on YouTube. He's missing out on this whole other audience.
He said, I can't capture audiences on other platforms. It's like,
right. As if people are just sitting there on Rumble all day. Like, well, I hope something comes on.
Well,
it's like, no. They know who you are. They know where to find you, you idiot.
Well, I don't stream to Facebook and X and Rumble and Kick. So how do you know I can't capture anybody there? You do, and you can't capture anybody. you actually stream to those platforms and have for a year.
Yeah.
And you have one person watching. Who can't capture an audience on other platforms? I don't okay.
And listen, YouTube is pretty niche, but I think it's going to take off. It's getting bigger every day.
And he does that all the time. Like Rumble's the best, but anytime he can only stream to one platform, like when Restream's down, he chooses YouTube.
I wonder why.
He chooses YouTube.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys. It's Black Friday. This isn't going to be a regular show. We're not gonna be going.
All right, I just want to give him credit. He didn't even make a racist joke right there. I mean,
he will.
Okay, I mean, I was giving him credit. He actually just said Black Friday and just kept it moving. I was very impressed for a second there.
Going over all the news. We got some stuff. We got some filler that we'll throw.
We got some filler.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Nobody likes a bragger. Nobody likes a bragger.
Because guys, we got some B-sides today. Don't get me wrong. What an idiot.
We got some horse shit to distract you from the goal for a few minutes.
Wow.
I think he starts his show with like 2 hours of not having the guests on. So he starts his show with 2 hours of filler before he gets to everything else. What's happening?
No. Guests are filler to him too. The only thing that's important is the goal. That's the only thing that matters.
Right. Sorry.
I realized that because I've always said that they don't talk off the air like Matt and Johnny to Aaron. But like when Aaron says this thing, like I keep work separate from real life. I think Johnny is work. Johnny's not a real friend. This is what I'm saying. It's like they never know. Like you can tell when friends talk, they go like we all come on and then we like make a joke about something we've been chatting about off the air. That happens a lot. They never do that. They don't have that at all. Matter of fact, they don't know anything about each other's personal lives, and they always have to like catch up on the air. It's like,
I don't know if you want to. It was a couple shows ago, but Johnny offered to come to Aaron's house for the show.
I heard that. Yes.
And Aaron was like tripping up over excuses as to why he doesn't want.
And I think that one of those big reasons that he doesn't want that anymore is he can't end it when he wants to. If he wants to end early, he can end early, and he doesn't have to feel bad that Johnny was only there for an hour.
Right.
And slam pieces there a lot of the time, I do think. Like he doesn't want them
also,
getting too close.
Cock blocking him,
If Johnny cries when he's on a Zoom call, he can just close his camera off. If he cries while he's there, he trips over the cable while he's leaving and interrupts the show.
I just had an interesting thought, just to back up real quick, talking about how the filler that don't worry, guys, we have filler today. I wonder, here's an idea for you, Mike. The Beggy Monster is actually his PD. And the Beggy Monster PD hates when he does Fox News stories. He's like, you could have been begging for money. And you're talking about Matt Gaetz being appointed?
You could have talked about April. You need to sleep that quarter hour, Aaron.
I picture the Beggy Monster is mad that why did you prep 5 stories? You should be begging for money. You have 4 hours.
Pivot to a Stonies giveaway.
I think that's
not bad.
that should be an animation. Beggy Monster is the PD.
But here's what today is. Today is number 1.
Give me money.
Going down memory lane.
Oh, okay.
We're going to take your super chats and your Rumble rants.
It wasn't even number 2. It was part of number 1. And the way we do that is by you guys giving me money and then ask me what to talk about.
Yes.
No, literally, that is.
We're going down memory lane. Remember to give me money.
But you're not exaggerating. He's prepared no clips. It's just people can super chat him and be like, "Hey, remember when this happened?" And Aaron's like, "Yep, I remember."
He literally wants it to be that SNL sketch. Like, remember when you did this? That's cool.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, good.
And your PayPals and your Venmos, and you throw in a little either a memory or a question or whatever, and we'll go through that. We'll also tear open some envelopes and basically
I was confused by this.
Yeah, did he?
All right, guys, here's how the show's going to go today. Give me money, we'll talk about stuff. Or just give me money. Those are the top 2 things.
Because I was like, is he receiving actual envelopes? Because otherwise that sounds pretty similar to number 1.
You're right.
He's going to do a Kreskin bit. He's like, things that are going to go off early today. Whoa, what is the Steel Toe Morning Show? Like, what is he?
We could receive money, but you could send me currency.
Right.
Donations will be allowed.
His whole thing is coming up with euphemisms for giving him money.
Yes.
So he won't say, give me money. He'll say, we'll knock out the goal.
Yes.
He won't say 150. He says $1.50, which sounds like $1.50, which is way less than
I can afford that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm surprised he doesn't issue token or chips like a casino so that it separates the money further from the give steel toe token.
Tokens! Holy shit! You just paid him a 30 or 40 bucks with that. That's so smart. Tokens.
Envelopes, and basically each $100 will be an hour up to 6 hours.
Yeah.
If we get up to $600 today, we'll go till noon. Otherwise, 200 to get to 8 o'clock. 300.
Oh, now he's going to explain to us what $100 an hour, how that works out. 200 for 2 hours, 300 for 3 hours.
Let me get
400.
Get your scratch
to get to
paper out.
9,
That's a lot.
and 400 to get to 10, and then 600 to get to noon.
Huh.
That's how we'll do it today. And
Spoiler, he does not get to do.
Right. Yeah.
Just,
Dare to
got-
dream.
4 guests.
all right.
4-year anniversary. 4 guests.
4 guests.
Those start
That's good synergy.
at 8 o'clock.
But wait a second. I thought you needed $200 to get to 8 o'clock. So are you telling me that it's possible these guests will not be on the show? if
Yes.
No one gives you money?
He threatens that repeatedly.
I know. It's wild. It's just like, why not just, whatever. I'm not going to tell him how to
Also-
beg for money.
Also, one of the guests is 2 guests, but
Right.
it doesn't count.
So you can see where my dilemma is. This show today, me getting up early after Thanksgiving and all that.
Oh, what a sacrifice. I didn't realize this guy was a hero.
Thanks so much, man.
Imagine having to get up early after a day off.
Yeah, but there was a football game on last night. I don't know if you realized that.
Oh, yeah.
made
So
a
it's like
lasagna.
every Monday?
Me getting up early after Thanksgiving and all that.
By the way, everyone who's watching this is also up early. Just FYI, asshole. No one feels bad for you. You're literally saying this at 6 a.m.
Everyone's in line for an $88 TV.
Why 88, Patrick? I'm just curious.
That's what Walmart does, right? Don't they do 8s?
I don't
It
know.
was. I don't know. You repeat yourself. Comedy. I don't know.
No. It's a white supremacist trope. That's why I was just pointing that out. Because 88, HH, whatever. I don't need to explain this to you. You've been on the internet before.
Seems like Carl.
You're not familiar with this?
No.
All right. Fair enough.
Complete money grab. 100% money grab. It is well, I guess you can't call it 100% because it is. The focus is celebrating on the 4 years, talking about all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
By the way,
I've masked it with this ruse that I'm perpetrating on you.
and also, don't forget the celebration is also about money. It's 4 years of our audience carrying us.
Yes. But why not just call this a telethon? Why call it
Because
anniversary?
it's no different. He goes, this isn't going to be a normal show, but it's like 4.5 hours of you begging for money. It's like, I think it's a normal show.
This
I
is
think
totally
it's
a normal show.
Like,
This is what his show is, except for there's guests,
but
right?
he said the same thing about the 10th anniversary show, but it's like, you're right. That wasn't a normal show. That was fucking awful. Like a normal show is actually
Yeah.
way better than that 10th anniversary show where you just get up and yell the N word while Johnny slinks off the stage like a slug. It's
N-word
like,
thing
you're
was a
right.
I'm not going to stick around on Black Friday like as a chump making nothing. Like that's got things I can do, right?
Imagine Christmas morning. Black Friday is not a holiday.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Who cares? It's a
You're
difference.
2 minutes into this show and you already are like, now look, guys, I do need, like, he doesn't understand tone or setting the table or like any of it. Like he's right into it. Like, if you think I'm going to stay here all day with you not giving me money, we're 2 minutes in. It's like, happy Thanksgiving to you too. What the fuck?
Why is this guy threatening me?
Right.
He's also
If you think I'm going to sit here, like, what the fuck?
he's disgusted at the prospect of not making money.
Already.
Oh yeah, he's offended by it. He's like, I could be playing golf, or he's already thinking in his head other things he wouldn't be doing if he wasn't begging for money. I don't know if you guys saw this. I recently broke down some Dark Side Phil on WATP, and he used to make fun of Dark Side Phil. Dark Side Phil has been begging for money for even longer than Aaron on the internet. Aaron has picked up on all of his tendencies, all of his techniques. Dark Side Phil is on there He's going, guys, I just had this great idea. I'm going to eat this smash burger, but if you give me an extra $50 and we hit the goal with $50 on top of that, now that could be this goal or it could be this afternoon's goal or it could be tomorrow's goal. But if you hit all of those goals and $50 on top of that, I'll eat two smash burgers.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I swear to God, this was what Darkside Phil was saying. And I was like, holy shit, this is Aaron to a T. He's turning it into a game, and the game only helps him. And we're supposed to think as the audience, like, I really need Darkside Phil to have two smash burgers. I'd be very upset if he only got that one smash burger. Like, it only benefits him.
He threw out today that he would burn Mike Lindell. The Mike Lindell poster he has behind him, he'd burn it for $600 or something.
Like, what?
Yeah, like, why does that help me? What do I care?
His Kurt Warner Aaron's Kurt Warner jersey he was going to burn for $500. And he's like, no, nobody wants to give me $500 to burn my jersey. Like, what?
All right, I got to get caught up.
I did eat 7 Egg McMuffins for money, so I can't talk. But
all right, then you got no one to stand on.
But that made me in pain. It wasn't because I was hungry and wanted food. Like they paid for me to eat that many, and then I was like hurting. Like,
all right, good point. Yes, that's. James Bomer with $5 says, "Can someone check Mike, see if he's breathing? Mike's doing great today. How dare you, sir?" Daniel
August.
August
Off for a minute, but I'm here.
Okay, I am an idiot like Joey C. I overlooked the Aaron voice, so yeah, now we can focus on this grift stream and get back to the goal.
All right, very good. Cash coming in.
I want to thank everyone for coming to celebrate my firing from radio 4 years ago. I am so much better off taking this step. Radio sucked. Wait, we got kicked off of Twitch? Ugh, damn it, Matt. At least it's not radio or Rumble. I love YouTube and Rumble now. Twitch sucked. YouTube and Rumble suck. It's nothing like the old radio days. I can't wait to get back to being an old radio guy.
All right. You know what, Cash? You're on the show next week, buddy. That sums it up perfectly. Thank you. That's what this guy is.
This is
Real rival at Laser 103.
Sorry, go ahead.
You can do that with April too. Like, April's the best. I got to get her out of this job. She's so good at radio. This is some of the best shows. Nobody can do what we do. Those shows sucked. April's not good at this. What did you want me to say? She was my wife. Her pussy smells. It's like, what?
Dude,
what just happened?
He literally on today's show. Now, how long did he say that the internet didn't have anything to do with April leaving and it doesn't bother her and all this shit? And then again today, he's like, well, you know, the internet's the one who drove April off. She couldn't handle the internet.
Yep. She divorced the internet.
By the way, he's
always lying.
Cut to now, he's very upset about April being on the internet and teasing him. So now April's on the internet ragging on him, and he's like,
yes.
Fuck! April
They abducted her. The internet took her. Come, April, join us.
The Beggy monster is the internet? Oh, no.
Yes. I only have like 3 voices.
Let's find out who you really are. They pull up the Beggy monster's mask, and it's the internet.
I'm the internet.
He was very annoyed because April said, like, I didn't like going after people like Chad Zumock and stuff like that. Aaron laughed at that prospect. He's like, haha, she was the leader of that sort of thing. But I mean, if you think back to what actually happened with Chad, Aaron went with this whole, like, I'm washing my hands of Chad. We're not going to go after Chad anymore.
Right.
And then months after that, he said, April wasn't comfortable with the hate that was generating. And so I had to stop. If April wasn't around, I would have gone further in on Chad. So
but
it's like
there's a clip of April saying, I hope you never stop fucking with Chad. Like, she said that on the show. She was like, keep going after him. Never let up. I hope you never stop fucking with Chad. It's like, so it's hard to. Look, she co-signed a lot of his shit.
It's everything, like everything everywhere, or like it's always, all the time.
Yeah.
Everything is true. Nothing is real.
Well, today he went on a rant about Dabbleverse shows and why they shouldn't talk about one guy all the time.
Yeah.
When it's like that's what he was doing with Chad at that time. And let's not forget Stuttering John for a little while too. He did that.
That's what I was trying to get to, but we'll never get to that clip. We'll never.
I know. I'll get back to it. Let's hear from Candy Yohi here.
A real rival at Laser 103.3 is that dork Wicket. That guy looks like me, talks like me, and seems gay like me. Unlike me, though, he actually likes women. Remarkable.
Aaron, it's okay to be gay now. Just say it. Free yourself. I have a free coffee waiting for you in a safe space that has been created for people just like you.
Good. Very well done. Nice to see Woke Dad getting in the mix.
Yes.
Someday Woke Dad will be one one of the members of this little piggy out here talking about Aaron Immold with us.
That'd be fun.
Koof coming with $5. Thank you for not killing yourselves. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I am thankful for you not killing yourself, Koof. Thank you, buddy. Good to see you.
My panties are seething, and April keeps eating all the yummy cum that Nick disperses. She's fucking with my goal. Nick, go in my back door.
Yo, Steel Slow. The only thing you carried was Nick's dick into your mouth. Fucking cuck.
He just he would tip April's head back like a jazz dispenser.
Jazz dispenser.
On that note, I do have a presentation today.
Okay, let me just get through a couple of these because we're backed up,
yeah.
and then I'll definitely get to that. This is from Anonymous.
This AI voice is shit because it can't yell as much as the real Carl. Can we pull down Nappy MC Napperson's mic down or mute it? He needs to apologize for giving my ears AIDS.
Just get a telemarketer headset from your old box, Carl, so it at least cuts out when you yell.
I could have better mic technique. I need to back off when I get excited. Thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. The Pants Maestro $5 says, listen, in his defense, I needed Johnny to not be there the last couple shows.
Because Pants Maestro's been like fucking with him. Like Pants Maestro gave him $300 to like kick Johnny off the show or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And then he kicks Johnny off the show.
And he's also saying that Pants Maestro is Patrick's fan and he's giving Steel Toe money.
Right.
And so
he's like, I don't mind you, Pants Maestro, but I know you're over there watching Patrick.
but only he's the only one who looks at people like in a zero-sum nature like that. Like he's the only one who goes like, that guy gives money to this guy, so he's his fan. It's like, I don't even want to take credit for owning any of these nuts. But Pants Maestro says he's going to get him to eat butter. So
he's not the only one though. Kevin Brennan does it. Stuttering John does it. Chad Zumach does it. What do these guys all have in common? I mean, that's
if Pants Maestro watches my show, I very much appreciate it, but I'll never know. I don't need to know. I don't do roll call every day.
Right. Yes.
To see if Pants Maestro is there or not.
Well, you ask what they have in common. I think when you really boil it down, what they all have in common is that they still don't understand they can't control the internet.
Right.
Like they all want, they just can't, they can't get a grip on this internet. Why are these people saying stuff I don't like? How do I stop it? It's like
I was on with Shuli a week or two ago, and they were going back and rewatching when I had a debate with Stuttering John. And that was over a year ago. And back then, one of the things that John was mad at me about was that people in my Discord server were using words he didn't like. And he's like, and Carl, you have admin rights. You could be deleting those. I go, John, I would never even think to even try to do that. That'd be the dumbest thing I could possibly do. Imagine if my job was to police my own Discord server. Imagine how that's all I would be consumed with the rest of my life. This is retarded. This is how these people think. They're like, this guy's on your server and he said that thing. I'm like, yeah, what are you going to do? You know? Yeah, right. That's how these people think. They're just like, you should be policing that. Like, yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, Moody tried to stop everybody from using the gay F slur on our Discord a while back, and it didn't work out well for him.
There was raids happening. I was just trying to say, whatever. You can say it now all you want. Go for it.
No, I mean, but you learn it doesn't work. You can't police this shit. Cash with $10 says he has stepped on so many rakes. He just steps anywhere now because his face is numb. That's good. That's a good point. This is a bunch of symbols. $5. Can Melton let people talk? Nice movie hat. Cool, man. Blind Mike and Carol have a flow. You're trampling over it with nonsense.
Yeah,
you're
bitch.
funny if you dial it back, and he's gone. He's donezo.
He's letting us talk.
All right.
Good riddance.
I brought him back. I feel bad for him. He's placed a timeout long enough. Levy time $5 says, why do you think Aaron he's just talking over it? Why do you think Aaron admits to having anxiety attacks about the show? It's incredibly embarrassing. Pity donos? That's a good question.
Everything's a win to him. So if he can, even with his panic attacks, turn up to the show, he is doing the show on hard mode compared to everyone else and still doing a good show. Therefore, he is winning. It's another one for the tub.
But does he ever, I've heard him say, I get a lot of anxiety about the gold. Does he ever say, like, I have anxiety, I do a show twice a day, I get really nervous that I'm not going to have anything to talk about?
Yeah, he said that either this week or I think maybe it was last week. He's like, I woke up, I have a panic attack, like thinking about I'm alone, everyone's left me, I have to do shows, where my show has come from and where it's going, like where are we going, and like he literally said like I'm alone, everyone's left.
But it's
like,
never about the show. It's never like, oh, I'm
it's not about the
stressed out
content.
about preparing
Mike,
the show.
Right.
Mike, you're forgetting
That's
about
what I
the
stress out about.
Mike, you're forgetting about the filler. He's got so much filler.
Yes, that's what I mean. Don't you stress about the filler, Aaron.
We haven't even opened up the filler folder. I do think yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Steel Toes Cum Goals, remember for 4 months, says, give me more, I need to be fed. That's what it's really all about. What were you going to say, Patrick?
What was the last comment? Because it was related to that.
About the fact that he doesn't get stressed out about the content. It's all filler. And you go, I do think.
Yeah, no, I lost it.
Right. Sorry. Diablo Sandwich for $2 says, he needs big money because Slampy's had Black Friday shopping to do. That, I do feel for him.
Well, he said they have a date tonight. Oh, this is what I was going to say. He doesn't have control for as much of a pro as he thinks he is. It's why we all thought he'd be in jail by now for like mentioning Kayla or something. Like he literally does not have control sometimes. And the more emotional he gets, he just lets it. It's like what literally PPP and Worski were like, look, Melton's so mad he's admitting he still has access to Aaron's Gmail. Like they're just like idiots. Or like he got so emotional he just let that slip that he still has access to Aaron's Gmail. I've never had access to Aaron's Gmail, dorks. But the point is, like,
you'd say now
they assign it that. But I think Aaron like he can't help but wake up and tell you about that him and Slampies have a date Friday night, and that like imagine coming out and saying where you and your wife are going to dinner tonight. Like it's just like, don't do that on the internet. Like, right. But he has to let people know. And then the vulnerable moments, I'm having panic attacks. I woke up late. My voice is going. I'm worried about that. Like, I don't think he can stop it. Like, he can't stop himself from revealing those personal details. Like, it's part of him.
Yeah, it's a sounding board for him. His show. It always has been. When you're a radio guy, that's part of your show. Like, I got to get this shit off my chest. And as you've pointed out many times, Aaron doesn't have real relationships with his co-hosts. He's not friends with these people. We don't know what his inner circle is. We know his neighbor likes to sing karaoke with him from time to time. So he might not have anyone else to turn to talk about these things. It's very possible.
It's why I think he starts every Monday with the most mundane shit. Like, watched football yesterday. I
tried these new pretzels. My gosh, they got peanut butter inside them. Delicious.
It's just like, okay.
Neat.
And again, there's ways to do that. I talk about apples. Like I'm not saying you can't talk about eating kitchen sink bark. I'm not saying you can't do that.
But from the clips I've seen, like with April actually was a co-host.
Yeah.
It's rare Johnny ever speaks on the show. Like he's not a co-host.
Yeah.
He's a pair of ears for Aaron to talk into.
Yes.
He's a quieter Worski.
Everyone's a quieter Worski. Real $7 says, Carl, you're very loud. Oh, and send Jenny my love. I will, Real. Thank you for that. I gotta, apparently on my setup here is not right. So I apologize. I didn't think I was overloaded, but apparently I'm or overdriven, but apparently I am. So I apologize. I'll get that fixed. Carl, please put your mic in another room. All right. Jesus Christ. Am I real loud to you guys?
That might not be about your levels. It could just be that they hate hearing you.
It's very possible.
Turn your volume to 0 if you could.
All right, fair enough. I can certainly do that. I have a different microphone in this studio, so I'm not as used to the RE20 as I used to be. John Williams.
Hi, Milton. Earlier today on OJ in the Morning, Bob said he'll attend Hackamania 2 if you invite him to perform. So could you please invite them? And Mike, are you 100% blind? Or just legally blind?
Just legally blind. Getting blinder, though, if that helps you.
We should get Blind Mike to come out and do a show at Hackamania. I think that'd be good. We can't afford your partner, just you.
Okay.
Well, we can do Who Are These Socials on there.
It should be, it's false advertising. It should be Getting Blinder Mike. Like, Blind Mike seems so final.
Well,
that's fair.
When he first had that moniker, he was barely even fucking blind, this guy.
Oh, I was driving. Those were the days.
Right.
Spotting dimes and squirrels. I'd invite Bob. I don't know if we're going to do stand-up this year. Last year, the stand-up didn't go well. Pat slept through it. So we might just cut the stand-up this year. Maybe we'll do an open mic.
Oh, time out, motherfucker. Last year, the stand didn't go well. Pat slept through it. That's true. But also, Patrick Melton decided he wasn't going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You didn't mention that part of it. You're just like,
Well, I
I'm
wasn't
not
that-
going to stand
I mean,
up.
yeah, but I was literally like gonna do like 5 minutes, and I wasn't like
I
a
know, but
big
it's supposed
part
to
of
be-
the show.
It's going to be your big return to stand
Yeah,
up. And you're
I mean,
like,
well, you know how
Carl,
that
this live stream is going to fuck up itself. I got to sit over here and watch it.
Yeah, he had to
implode.
go look for USB cables. He was
Right.
like, I can't do stand up.
That's it. We're fucking not doing it this year. Fuck you guys.
Good. Now let's say a prayer to manatee finally causing Steel Toe's 90-day vacation. Oh, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I can admit that this Kayla thing was kind of a nothing burger, the Fish Tank Live stuff. Everybody was like, oh my God, they're mentioning Kayla all over stream. We went over it, and I'll be honest, when there's nothing, there's nothing. Like that was 100% Reddit and me taking the bait. There was really nothing. I don't think there was a violation of the restraining order.
Probably not.
Or court order or whatever.
Milk John's mom, $2 says, great show, guys. Okay, Moody, you've been polite long enough. Do you want to get your
All right.
presentation up on the screen here?
Great. It's
And then
yeah.
maybe
I'm
we
sharing
can finish
it.
up the final 2 minutes of Aaron's intro, but let's start with this.
All right. So there's been a lot of chat from Steel Toe and just in this world about consumption.
We've
right?
got to work on that. I told you last time, you got to start with a logo or something. You can't do these white. This is
There you
garish
go.
to people.
All right, it's
Okay,
a graph. We've got a graph, right? We've got a y-axis and an x-axis. All right. Today, I'd like to talk to you about consumption. So
this
how
is-
much
This is a single variable is what we're talking about.
Yeah. So the x-axis on the horizontal axis is consumption. How much you consume of something. It can be meat. It can be whatever you can think of that you can put inside your body,
Podcasts.
right? Right. The y-axis is how vocal you are about that said thing, right?
Oh,
So it can
this
be-
is going to be about cum.
You know, now that I think about it, it could probably apply to.
Oh, I thought you were going to
apply
talk about how much he mentions not eating cum versus
Right,
how much
yeah.
he's ate cum.
So
Make
let's
your
see
own
how-
graph next time.
Let's see how that fits into everything, right? So on the bottom left, like just as you start, if someone does not consume anything of something, they probably don't care about that thing and will not vocalize anything like that, like anything about it. They just don't. It's not a part of their lives, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
So 0, 0. As consumption increases, so does the vocality about said thing. And that can go in one of two ways. It could either be, hey, I really like this thing. I'd like to try it out at times. Or it can be, I tried this thing. I really hated it, but I don't want people to know that I tried this thing. And so you are extremely vocal about how much this thing is in your life, but how much it's not in your life, right?
Right.
As consumption then increases, it actually goes back down to 0, the vocality, because it's such a regular part of your life. You're just
Every day, yeah.
consuming. It's an everyday thing. Someone who eats a regular amount of meat isn't talking about meat 24/7. They're just having it as part of their meals, right?
So, for
Someone who-
example, I enjoy watching the Bills games, and it seeps into my show sometimes, even though I don't do a sports podcast. I'll bring up the Buffalo Bills game or Josh Allen or something. I also brush my teeth every day.
Right.
I brush my teeth more than I watch the Bills. I never talk about brushing my teeth, but I do talk about the Bills. Is that what you're
Right.
kind of saying here? Yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah. If we go back to like Patrick's eating cum example that he brought up, I'd never thought about before. But in that case, this is someone who does it as a regular part of their sex lives, but it's not like out of the ordinary, right? It's just something that happens that they don't feel the need to talk about. Now, once you go beyond this point, you actually vocalize about it even more. So this is like an enthusiast.
It becomes
You're
your
getting into
life.
like, yeah, it's like it's becoming part of your life. You're enthusiastic about how much you're consuming this one thing. So it's like, yeah, it's way beyond a normal amount. However, once you go even beyond that to like say like an industrial amount of consumption, it comes back to 0. It's a very complicated function. It's sinusoidal. It kind of looks like this. It's an up-down
Is this true?
sort of motion.
Are you making this up?
No, this is science.
This is science, man.
All right.
This is science. So
Sure.
if we're talking about Aaron in this example, right? Aaron is very much, we don't think he is like he's eating industrial amounts of anything, right? or a large. Like it's not. It happened 1 or 2 times. I think is the general agreement. and he's very vocal about it not happening. But the thing that I think I uncovered a conspiracy when I discovered this. I don't know, guys. But do you see this shape? This M sort of shape?
Mm-hmm. He wasn't talking to you, Mike. Yes, I see it.
Sorry, Mike. Carl and Patrick, do you see this shape? Does this look familiar? Could it be?
All right. The payoff was worth it. It's actually Aaron's hairline for the people who can't see what we're talking about.
The answer was there all along.
Great mother of God.
That's...
You can't argue with science.
A long road to get there, but
yeah.
I like it.
That's all I got. Sorry, guys.
Brevity is the soul of shit.
That is fantastic. All right, I want to get back to more.
Yeah, let's try to watch it.
Let's try to watch Steel Toe on here. There's more gems in the very early stages of his 4-year anniversary.
That should be the show every week. Let's try to watch Steel Toe.
Right. By the way, Aaron is another drop the needle anywhere guy. His facial expressions.
Yes.
So crazy.
I've started the faces of Aaron, and I hope people are capturing that.
But as part of a shameless money grab where, if the envelopes keep flying
right back where we started.
Shit, I'll stay on the air.
But Mike, he's owning it. He's calling it a shameless money grab. Therefore, we can't make fun of him.
And that makes it cool.
Well, yeah. Okay. I mean, is he an e-beggar? Yeah, but he's the cool kind. He admits
We got to go back to Mooby's chart. He never shuts up about the goal. Does that mean he's not consuming enough money or he's consuming too much money?
Right. He's had a taste of the goal seldomly, and so he talks about it all the time. That fits in the graph.
It's like going to Vegas a couple times. You can't shut up about it. Mersh and him, they're just like, those were the days.
Does this guy get triggered at hockey games?
Here's where this works. Where if Aaron put up shirts at a discounted rate for Black Friday or whatever, and he was like, "Hey, it's a shameless money grab, but support the show. It helps us out. Blah blah blah. Keeps the lights on."
Sure.
Then it's like, he's acknowledging that he's in it for the money. He doesn't give a fuck about the shirts, whatever. But it's tongue in cheek. We get it. When he does it every day, where he's like, "I'm shamelessly begging," well, then it's the tongue in cheek thing goes out the window because you're knowingly doing it 100% of the time.
Right.
Mike, to your point, I started the show by saying this show is all about making money. It's for the envelopes. That's very much a joke. This little piggy is clowning this guy, so we're pretending that that's what we care about. We never actually talk about this shit on our show.
If you were like, "Hey, I'm shamelessly begging for Black Friday," no one would think it. But if you did it every day, it's I think he's actually shamelessly begging.
When he says kick a couple bucks over to the toe to help us reach the goal today, it's but we know that this will be tomorrow too, and the next day, and the next day. It's you don't get to do this thing where he hides behind we don't do any the same thing as PBS or whatever. It's yeah, they do it once a year.
Yeah,
they do it once a year, and then it's Sesame Street. It's
well, he does a little bit of that too.
Allergic to money, so throw in. Let's get those envelopes that you've been saving. Those big contributions.
What?
For the anniversary day. Let's let them fly. Like this
I've
one.
put $5 in my envelope every day since last Black Friday.
I finally cashed in that savings bond for my grandma.
This little piggy bank is now full.
We got
I've saved this specifically for the 4th anniversary of when Steel Toe was kicked off of radio and became
milestone
online
occasion.
exclusive.
Poll $1.99. What a guy. That's on our way. We're starting. We got a lot of things to talk about today, including some dramatic updates.
Get back to begging, Aaron. Let's not talk about topics. It's not time for topics yet.
Talk, Aaron.
We're only $2 in. That's not going to do it.
Aaron, I'm on my way down the stairs. You better mention the goal. Have you collected the goal?
Updates. You know all that Chad Zumach, Kevin Brennan, Gino Bisconti legend stuff? Well, that came to a head.
Coming up next, Kamala Harris reaches out.
Right.
Like, what is this show, to your point, Patrick? He's like, you guys know all about the Gino Bisconti, Kevin Brennan stuff. Like,
no,
most people don't.
No, and not only do most, I think, Carl, if you said that on your show, most of the listeners would know something about that.
Something, sure.
Aaron talks about how shitty that is to talk about those subjects, and then to his audience says, like, we might get into it later. So they're like,
and Mike,
you said it was gay to talk about?
And Mike, to my credit, I always explain what it is. I assume that not everyone's following shit like I'm following it.
Right.
It's my livelihood, but other people probably aren't just like, I don't know, did Kevin Brennan say something to Gino Bisconti? I don't know. What the fuck?
And
I do have
like-
to run, though, boys. I hate to cut this short, but I have to get out of here.
Blind Mike Project, blindmike.net is where you want to go. And like I said, we said this early, so I got to explain to people. You have to watch the Blind Mike Project from this past week on Blind Mike's YouTube channel or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Where are you running? An open field? Where do you run?
That's not bad, but I do have to go. And the man I'm filling in for, Tukey, will be on Why Are You Laughing this week, so watch that as well.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you.
You guys are covering Ron and Fez,
Bye,
right?
Mike.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, Mike. Good to see you,
guys.
buddy.
Thank you.
Later.
We are sorry about him, you guys. Will never happen again.
He really is the new guy on this.
He's the worst.
I'm cutting Tukey out of our text thread. We're adding Mike in.
Like to be Mr. I told you so. I don't like to be, Mr. I told you how to do this. You didn't listen. Now you get what you deserve. But
I don't like it. I love it.
Right. It just happened.
Right.
Chad Zumach recently caught shrapnel, I guess you could say.
It wasn't shrapnel. Somebody alerted Patreon and got his Patreon taken out, right? Is it shrapnel when someone like goes after someone else and it ricochets and hits you?
I'm with Cardiff on this. Like, people are like, dude, I'm with Chad. Like, nobody should be striking channels. It's like those two sentences don't go together.
Right.
I'm with Chad. I don't like people who strike channels. Fuck Chad. Chad gets what he deserves. Chad strikes everybody. He struck me. I don't know if he ever struck you, Carl. He struck KB. He used to brag about it. He used to tweet people to go strike channels. Yeah. He used to, every time I was sniping him, he would
He's a
have
mud
four
shark.
guys ready to snipe me.
He
Like,
fights in the mud. Yes, that's what he does. He
so
loves
fuck
it.
Chad. Fuck Chad.
Of doing nothing but drama. If you're going to be a nothing but drama show, you will rot and die. Sure, you're going to have a 6 to 18 month period where it's fucking crazy.
The window keeps getting wider the longer I do well.
Right.
What's he talking about?
It's like the Mickey Mouse copyright stuff, how it like always
You
gets
get it extended.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I have a question. So the Real Wives reality series, that just did one season and went away, right? Oh, wait, there's actually multiple versions of it now in every fucking city. And it's carrying the network. Yeah, people hate drama. It only lasts for a second, you retard.
Bravo and TLC suck.
Yeah, right. What is he talking about?
And you're going to rot and die because you're going to just fill your lungs with garbage and piss and shit and toxicity. And then...
Do you know what? I actually read that the Hallmark Channel beat CNN in the ratings for the first time last week.
I believe
and
it.
now Hallmark is beating CNN. Yeah, people hate drama.
Right. It makes sense.
You can't do a channel where you just pick on people all the time.
Oh, shit. Well, then why am I still here? Oh, fuck. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? You didn't even tell me.
I think
give
you
me a heads
can.
up. Oh, okay. You can. Okay. Oof. Thank God. I got nervous for a second. I was like, really?
So it's like when PvP and Worski were like, you can't just say you hacked a guy's thing, bud. I'm like, pretty sure you can.
You can say whatever you want.
I hacked Moody's email. Now what?
I wanted you to hack it.
At some point,
I consented.
You're either going to go too far and picking on that person, or the person you're picking on is going to go, I'm going to do what I can to stop this fucking guy. And like, let's take, for example, Chad's situation. His Patreon is now.
Or that person can be funnier and come back at you and
or
not
ignore
have to, or ignore it and just move on and do their own thing. There's other options.
This entire being nice to Chad arc, this is just an extension of that. He doesn't actually care about anything to do with Patreon. He doesn't care about free speech. He doesn't care about people being deplatformed. He's just saying this because he wants to buddy up to Chad even more. And in a moment of weakness for Chad, maybe Chad will see himself on the Steel Toe Morning Show.
Well, he kind of attacks Chad, so I don't think that's. I mean, he's pretty much saying Chad got what he deserved. So it's not really buddying up to Chad.
Right.
And let's take, for example, Chad's situation. His Patreon is now shut down because two people that he decided to go weigh in on said, you know what? I'm going to try to get this guy shut down. Now,
see, so
we can
it's
all
not,
be teenage.
It's not about something Chad did. It's about the people that attacked Chad because he was talking about them.
But
so
the thing is,
sometimes bad things happen to good people, Patrick.
The only people,
I see what you did there, Moody.
Right.
It's like Chad attacks me all the time. I never thought I was going to strike his channel or whatever, but like Chad, these guys think that that's how everyone is. Like, dude, if you mess with somebody, they'll do this back to you. It's like, no, only other retards like Stuttering John.
Right.
Like there's a retard playground that these guys don't realize they're in and can't get out of because no one else wants to deal with Ray and Chad and Stuttering John and KB. It's like, so they're all stuck together with each other. Liam and Stevie Lou. It's like they don't realize it, but like they're the only ones that will deal with each other. Like everyone else who has like a business and like a real brain has already like excommunicated themselves from that core.
To your point, Stuttering John talks about me every episode he does, every single one. Kevin Brennan was going after me every episode. He might still be. I don't watch his show, but he was talking about me every episode for a very long time. I've never struck either their channels. I've never gone after their families and done anything to them in real life. Like most people are just normal and they just go, okay, well, I do a show, so of course I could be a target, and they just move on with their lives. But this retard goes, well, I mean, what'd you expect? Of course they're going to get your Patreon taken down. I was like, no, that's not what anyone should expect, actually.
And
it's weird behavior.
And they're the ones who, by the way, keep saying like Chad. I've never used the word like we're going to try to take this guy down. Right. Like these guys can't stop saying that. Kevin and Chad, like they tried to take me down. Melton's trying to take me down. Melton thinks he's running shit. It's like I literally don't know what he's talking about. No one's tried to take you down, but again, I think they feel that they're so paranoid / insecure that when anyone says something bad about them, just words, that they feel like they're trying to ruin my life and take me down. And it's like, you don't have to watch this. I don't watch most of Chad.
The funnest thing is if they keep going. Like no one wants to bring them down. This is enjoyable to watch these people.
Correct. It's with 2 pounds says Dr. Steve Blind Mike live eye test. Now, I don't know if you guys realize, but Dr. Steve is not a
different
ophthalmologist or optometrist, and eye tests could be probably given by anyone.
Yeah, but maybe you could put some of those gloves on and reach into those eyeballs and see if there's any juice.
Yeah, but what if Blind Mike does one of these? So block it.
Yeah.
That's the move. Chardy McDennis, $2 says, is there anything more punchable than smug Aaron? Dude, that smug Aaron face. And he goes from like in 0 to 60 in a second. He can get real smug on something. You're just like, where did that come from?
And there's this overacting, like, and if you think that, sorry that's what happened to you, you're just, and it's like, who are you looking at? Who's over here and over there and up there? Like he's always looking at somebody and rolling his eyes.
Hey, Patrick, I think Reels is talking to you here. He says, hey, Screamy McScreamer, the falling money is making me nauseous. I know I can't be the only one.
You're the screamer.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Sorry, Reels. I'll do better with my mic technique. I apologize for that. And the money thing is actually Patrick Melton's fault. He started this. Michael,
I like it.
I do too.
By the way, it's a metaphor. Is the money distracting?
Good.
Is the money distracting?
As he's giving me $5, he's like, this money is too much. I'm like, I know.
Right. It's almost like money is what's distracting Aaron from doing a show.
Wow.
Michael,
I just blew Moody's mind.
They should become a
Reels
YouTube
fell for
member.
it. You became part of the artwork, Reels.
Past member for 9 months says, you see OJ turned into a Chad guy? He was saying that he talks to Chad for hours on the phone. Very gay, super gay. Talks to Chad for hours. Dude, anyone who talks to a guy for hours on the phone is super gay. We're all friends here. Have we ever talked on the phone for hours? If you added it all up?
No, we don't invite you.
Oh, you guys are talking on the phone? Why can't I be a part of that? Sounds cool. Naturally negative, $10. Happy Thanksgiving, my Skibbity Rizzlers.
Skibbity
Rizzlers. Steel Toe and Opie would have enjoyed being coworkers. What with one jerking it and the other one recording them? Yes. That would have been synergy, as they call it.
I do think, because Aaron thinks he's Anthony from 2007.
Right.
And if him and Opie got together and could tolerate each other, who knows? They might recreate some of that radio magic we all miss.
That's a good
from
idea.
the
And you know what could be the phone screener is John Melendez. We got this all figured out.
Or Eric Nagel. I heard him the other day wishing he was back with Opie.
Yeah, right.
I get it, Aaron. I don't have any friends either. So my show opens with banter.
Right.
2, what workout I did, whether or not I jerked off, what I jerked off to, how much I love my mother. How I jerked off to my mother with KY jelly and dildos and whips and chain. I even shared my mom's Spanish rice with you dumb fucks.
Whatever anyone does, do not take a clip of that and post it on Shuli's Anonymous or Hackverse Anonymous where John gets all of his content from. He'll be very upset if he sees that that's what AI is doing. He'll probably get very upset. So don't do that.
Well, he wants super tips, so I think this could be.
Dude, that would be awesome. I'd love to. And by the way, John would make $1 million.
He'd make so much money.
Is there, same with Aaron? I mean, they're idiots. Like, is there enough of John's mom to make a John's mom's voice AI?
Well, yes. We'll talk offline. I think we can definitely make that happen.
I want a Biggie
Sure, I'm a
monster
cocky,
AI.
brash guy who's always begging.
I'm sorry. What was that, buddy?
I want a Biggie monster AI. I think that would be.
There might be enough Becky Monster just for that one episode.
I'm really gonna start cutting and putting together an Aaron doing his enemy's voice because that like like I want that to be a full voice. It'd be so good.
I need that, please. Let me hit this one.
Sure, I'm a cocky, brash guy who's always begging for money, but honestly, if you really think about it, I'm a lot more humble than I should be.
That's how he thinks in his head.
It's so true.
That sums it up perfectly. Guys, we have talked for 2 hours straight. We've said it all. We
tried to watch a clip. We
watched
did
some
it all.
clips. We watched the clips. There was another chart. That was great. We had a whole graph going on. Great payoff.
Covered a conspiracy.
I just going back to my notes real quick. Another thing that he said today, he's looking through his comments or his super chats, or he goes, a lot of these comments are repeats or mean spirited. So we're going to move on. Either they're repeats or mean spirited. Like one of those things. It's probably what's happening.
He did give his blessing to this little piggy on this morning's show.
Yeah.
He said, if you get together once a week and do like an hour or 2 hours about a particular drama issue, that's good. So that's what this show is, which is, thanks, Aaron.
Perfect.
How does he, like, I'm being serious here. Like, how does he reconcile calling all these shows little shows and not successful and not sustainable and all this stuff? They all do bigger numbers. They all do bigger numbers and make more money.
Because they're they're based on him, and therefore their success can be attributed to him. Without him, what are the numbers? And then that's the number that he actually looks at.
But he can't genuinely think that these shows are based on him. Carl's show was around before him. I was around before him. Like, why does he think that? Like, it's so stupid. It's just not, you're not being intellectually honest if you're like, Melton's show is based on Steel Toe. It's like, Steel Toe wasn't around when I started doing a show. So it isn't.
the intellectually honest train has sailed like over a year ago.
Hold on, a train sailed?
Are we watching? Have we been watching the same person? Why are you trying to prove this at this point? I mean,
I just like, it's so weird to me that like he just keeps. I've never seen a guy more to reality. Just la 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 no. I've never seen it, and he's almost 40. It's just bananas.
But he's also paying attention to all of it. That's the beauty, because it slips out. He knows all of the criticism. He brings it up regularly. Right. And so he's paying attention to all of it, whether it's Slampy's telling him or he's reading all this stuff or watching the shows. And then he acts like it doesn't bother him and it does, he's not paying attention.
I'm such a failure. Suck my dick. I'm the fucking worst. We might have to figure something else out. Steel Toe's not going anywhere. Like, okay, I can't.
All right. Well, another successful This Little Piggy. I want to thank Moody once again for doing all the things that Moody does and getting his mic working.
Thanks
for being here. Thank you, buddy. And of course, Patrick from Nobody Likes Onions.
Happy to be here. We're having everything's regular price today at nobodylikesonions.com/store. Yes, so feel free to grab something. Yeah, Black Friday sale. Everything's 100% of the cost. And then also, I'll be doing a show later where we will be covering this clip and getting through it. And we're going to go through this whole stuff. So look out on my channel for a very special long show tonight.
Oh, is it going to be 6 hours long if you get to
possibly
$600?
Longer? Possibly longer.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. I am from Who Are These Podcasts. WhoAreThese.com is where you want to go for all things Who Are These Podcasts. I also do Who Are These Socials by my buddy Blind Mike every Thursday at 6. Of course, not yesterday because it was Thanksgiving, but every other Thursday at 6. You can find us on this very channel, guys. Thanks all for being here. Thanks to Blind Mike Geary. Thanks to Moody. Thanks to Patrick Melton. You guys are the best.
There's a show in town, it's going down. Every week we're back on solid ground. Steel toe slipping, but we're gripping. Got the tea to spill, it's always flipping. From April's scrim to Aaron's glee. Oh, this drama's just a spree. Polydrama, legal trauma. Another win, oh, that's the karma.